I didn't officially meet Kevin Miller until I would say the fall of 2020, sometime around October, November of that year, right after I had moved back home to Arkansas after spending 3 years in Texas. And this was around the time I moved back in March of 2020, right around the time when everybody thought the world was ending because of COVID. And, we're all just trying to figure out our own things to do while social distancing. And that's pretty much what I went back to doing, what I always do, and that is some sort of sports and sports coverage. And at that time, I was very, very green. I'm still fairly new, but was very green in the business, and really was just trying to form connections. Was trying to just get to know coaches, all those different things. And I received a direct message from Kev on again, it was sometime around October, November of 2020, and it was on Twitter. And it basically just said, "Hey, I do a lot of sports," and I had heard of him before, just kind of watching some video clips on social media and all those things. And he gave me his number, and we hopped on a call. And I'll be honest, I was kind of a little bit confused because I'm like, why is this guy that I don't know? And I really, this is the first time I've ever talked to him in my life. Like, what is it that, why would he want to help me? Like, what business does he have doing that when he's trying to build his own brand and all these different things? And I quickly realized once we got off the call and once I continued to get to know him, that Kev had probably the biggest servant heart of anybody that I've ever met. He's up there with the best of them. And that's just meaning not only in sports, but just being a friend to somebody, whether that was at his job, of course, with his family that he loved so dearly. He was just a servant anywhere that he went, and he was a great encourager to me. And I can't tell you how many times that I felt like I was maybe fed up with this business. We deal with a lot of things and don't get paid very much for it. So I cannot tell you how many times I would give him a call and just really vent. And every single time it was, remember why we do this. And he would remind me, and he was kind of my voice of reason, for lack of a better term. And really, from that point on, we just continued to get stronger and stronger. And we did a lot of things together, also alongside many of the people that are involved in coordinating this event. And after he had put together, he kind of was the leader in putting together the basketball media days that went on last October. And of course, the next thing that we had in mind was football. And unfortunately, he passed away 4 months after the basketball media days, and he didn't get to see this come to fruition. But I have no doubt that Kev is smiling down right now just because of not only this event, but the team camp and just the way that people have honored his memory. Man, it's just been so overwhelming to see people that knew him well, that maybe didn't know him much at all, but just knew the impact that he had on so many different people. And that's the reason why we're gathering here today and also Thursday and Friday, is to do the things that he loved to do in his honor, because at the end of the day, that's really, other than again, his family and his work, that was right up there with the most important things. Was bring to important things to him was bringing coverage and bringing exposure to the state of Arkansas, to our athletes. It didn't matter whether you were the last one off the bench or you were a blue chip, 5-star recruit or a NBA lottery draft pick projection in the next few years in basketball. It didn't matter to him. He wanted to help anybody that he could. And I'm so thankful for the friendship that he had, or that I had with him. And just that I had the chance to know him. I only had a chance to know him very closely for about 4.5 years. But hopefully through events like this and things in the future, where his name is involved, that will just continue to help his legacy live on and on and on, when those of us that are helping continue that go on are no longer here either. So I want to personally thank each and every one of you for tuning in. I want to thank First Community Bank for their hospitality, for the just amazing hosts that they have been to us, and all of our sponsors. We've got some great sponsors that have really stepped up and been a big part of this event. So we thank you so much. And again, thank you to those who are watching and following this and also understanding the reason why we do it. I hope you all enjoy these next 3 days. It's going to be a great honor being able to welcome over 60 teams from across most parts of the state of Arkansas. And hopefully this will just turn into something bigger and bigger each year. Thank you all so much. And I hope you enjoy this event. It's going to be a packed 3-day extravaganza that we are so excited about.
Okay, welcome back to Big Miller Basketball Media Days. Up next, we have Conway High School girls basketball with head coach Ashley Hushcraft. How you doing, Coach?
I'm good. How are you?
Coach, give us a little insight about yourself and let us know who all you brought with you.
Sure, absolutely. Over here we have Olivia Cox. She's a senior. She's going to be signing with University of Central Arkansas on November 13th. We have sophomore Trinaya Weston, senior Samaya Jordan, and then senior Emery Bohannon. She's going to be signing with UCA as well on November 13th. So these four are our four most experienced players from last season, and so we're looking forward to another season of basketball.
Right on, Coach. Obviously, you all have had a lot of success over the years. A lot of success over the years, being the state championships of the 2023 season and runner-up this 2024 season. Give us an insight on just the path and the overall emotions coming from back to back.
Yeah, I mean, of course, when you're in the state championship game a couple years in a row. If you're a coach, it's just kind of feeding the beast. It's the expectation that these three seniors have, and our seniors, they don't know any different. They've only been in a state championship game, and so we still have that expectation. We did lose a big piece to our puzzle over the summer. We lost Alexis Cox, who's also going to be signing with UCA on November the 13th. But we have some big pieces at home, and freshman Kylie Johnson, who we think is kind of our next big thing in Conway. And then we have another sophomore, Mariah Wilson, who's going to be a great player as well. So, if you look at our 2023 season, we lost four seniors going into last year. We only had one starter back, and I think most people kind of expected us to be down and not the same. And if you look at where we're at now compared to where we were this time last year, I think we're a much better basketball team. And I know that sounds a little bit crazy because we did lose our leading scorer, our leading rebounder, but when you lose players like Chloe Clardy and Savannah Scott and Caden Beckwith and Camille Brown, that was 95% of our scoring. But we have, we do have a lot of seniors, but we also have a lot of young pieces, and Trinaya is a big part of that. Trinaya is a big-time player. She's a point guard. She's a sophomore, and last year she got hurt, which a lot of people don't know this, but she started all season for us, and then second round of conference play, she broke her wrist, and so she missed the second part of our season, and her first game back was the state championship game. So we had to completely kind of change our game, and Liv stepped in to that starting role, and I think Olivia is probably our most improved player that we've had at Conway. Liv's a Division I basketball player. She's going to be playing Division I basketball next year, and so it's just continued growth, and we expect to win.
You mentioned the UCA side. It's four you have that are going there currently on.
Yes, we have one that's currently there, Caden Beckwith.
Right,
she's a sophomore this year at UCA, and then these two, and then Alexis Cox.
Okay,
so we'll have
gotcha.
four. Yes.
And I wanted to ask about that because to the players, obviously y'all play very well together now, but then you're going to play together at the next level. That says something when you've got four girls that played high school ball together, basically just going down the road and continuing your college career. So just talking about just the bond that you all have. It's very clear by that you're ready to play together at the next level.
I think definitely the bond that we've created over the years will definitely help with our chemistry going forward to UCA. And I'm honestly really excited. So I'm looking forward to being at UCA with, familiar faces and being, with my past teammates.
We also have at UCA their assistant coach, Haley Estes. She's also a Wampus Cat. She played in 3 state championship games. And so she was a big-time player for us. And so that's been, as a coach, that's been really rewarding to see her, as a coach in the college level.
Yeah. Anyone of you want to say anything? Are you good?
They're like, no.
Okay. Well, when you talk about the success, obviously there are some things that's entailed into being successful like that. I had a chance to step in on one of your practices, and I must say the energy, I mean, the energy that's surrounded in that practice was contagious. But talk about that amongst the ladies.
Somebody got it?
Well, in our practice, our source is energy. We feed off of energy. That's how we communicate. That's how we make shots. That's how we tell each other good job. And without any energy on our team, there's nothing to be on the court about. And just us being how close we are, the energy, that's what we need. That's what we know we need to feed and grow as a team.
T.
You know, the team, we work well together. It's just like being there, the communication's good, everything's good. So with good communication, everything goes good, you know? So our energy, that feeds into that, and that just makes the team better, makes the team grow, and overcome all the challenges that we need to overcome.
If we don't have energy and not communicating, we won't be like very successful, and so we have to keep encouraging and communicating throughout the whole season.
There's three things that we focus on, every day. I think those are three things that we live by: is energy, effort, and family. I think if you're around our program, no matter if we have injuries, no matter if we're winning or we're losing, those three things are our expectation, and it's part of our culture.
Coach, it seems like your team has been one of the premier programs around the state. What do you tell a young coach that is aspiring to become a coach and looking to have a program such as yours?
I think make the big time where you're at. I know that's an old saying, but I'm just a kid from Perkins. I'm a small school kid. I was coached by my father, and I think the thing that he was remarkable at a long time ago is we did things very unorthodox. He treated our Perkins Thunderbirds like we were the Arkansas Razorbacks. And so I've always tried to take that into wherever I'm at. It was like that when I was at Conway Christian. It will always be like that as long as I'm at Conway. Everything that we do is going to be first class, and I'm always trying to make these young ladies feel special. I think that the high school experience is something that you take with you the rest of your life, and I want when they leave here, and I think that's another thing that we kind of thrive off of, is when you come to one of our basketball games, you're going to see a lot of people that were there 5 years ago, 10 years ago. We want them to feel comfortable in coming back and always being a part of our family. And I know when these young ladies leave, they're going to always be Lady Wampus Cats. And I think just wherever you're at, make that place big time. Make them feel like they're special, and they are. What we expect from them, we just finished this morning. I got into the gym at 5:30 a.m. They weren't too far behind me. We do that for 8 weeks. The expectation and the things that I put them through on a weekly basis, where much is given, much is expected, and I expect a lot from them, but I give them a lot too. So I think it's just give and take, and that would be my biggest advice.
Coach, you mentioned losing Alexa. She's such a dynamic and strong player. The good news is you have a plethora of players to spread the wealth.
Sure.
I'd love to hear from the ladies, starting with Olivia, kind of how you guys are going to individually step up to take on some, not only production roles, but leadership roles as well.
Me personally, I will help the team be more challenging and helping the team a lot, and just helping the team.
I think for Liv, Liv and Alexis are twins, and so one thing that we've talked with Lex, if you've ever watched Olivia play, Olivia plays with a lot of emotion, a lot of energy, and so we've given Lex kind of the role like you're Olivia's coach. That's going to be your job, sis. You're going to have to help me with Liv. But again, I think Liv is kind of taking on her sister's responsibility a little bit, and we see that every day in practice.
Coming in as a freshman last year, it was like very hard for me to adapt and stuff and become a leader, and I wasn't very good at communicating and stuff. But this year, losing Lex, I know that I have to step into that leadership role. I got to be a leader. I got to communicate, and I got to step up for my team.
This year, I think once again scoring more because we lost a walking double-double, as we all know, and being able to lead the team alongside T, who is our other point guard, and getting to my spots, helping my teammates get to their spots, knowing when to penetrate, when to shoot, things like that, and finding open people.
I think for me this year with losing Lex, I think being, still a leader on and off the floor, bringing the team together, and I think basically getting my teammates more opportunities because losing Lex, it took a lot of our scoring away. So now I'm got to make sure everybody else get that same opportunity to show their talent.
So I know last year you had a game slip through your fingers. I know you all played Central 3 times, I want to say 3 times, and that last time it just slipped through your fingers. What's that one game on your schedule this year that you're circling, that you're looking forward to?
Our schedule's tough, and that's the thing. Like, I think we have the toughest schedule in the state. If you look at our schedule and who we're playing and where we go, I don't think there's any tougher. We're going to go to Texas twice. We're going to the Hoop Fest, Thanksgiving Hoop Fest in Duncanville. We always go to the Sandra Meadows Classic in Duncanville. Going to be going to Putnam City West, who was ranked 9th in the country last year. I think we could always say that we're going to circle that Central game. Last year, the last 2 years in the Final Four has been Cabot, North Little Rock, Central, and Conway. That is such a challenge, and I think, if you've been around basketball long enough, for 2 years in a row, we've had to beat somebody 3 times to make it to the state championship game. We beat North Little Rock 3 times in the state championship game, and then last year fell short. I think that's going to be different this year. I think the West is a lot stronger. We're going to go to Fayetteville, who I think is one of the best teams in the state. We're going to go to Fayetteville and play them on a Thursday, play Springdale on a Friday and stay the night. I think that Fayetteville game is going to be it's going to be early. It's going to be kind of a testament and try to see where we're at.
Right on. Well, we all be looking forward to seeing you all play this season. And any questions? And that concludes our interview for today.
Thank you.
So appreciate you all for coming out, allowing us this moment. Thanks.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, we're back with Conway High School basketball with head coach Ben Lindsay. How you doing, Coach?
Good, good. Thank you.
Coach, let us know about yourself and introduce who you brought with you.
This is my first year as head coach at Conway, and I brought senior Kennard Turner. Kennard's been with us for 4 years. I've had several comments now. They can't believe Kennard's still here, that he's been playing for so long at the varsity level that I've had 3 coaches say, Kennard is still there. So Kennard's been around the block in 6A basketball a little bit. Got senior J.C. Schulman. He's new to us. Me and him getting a fresh start together. J.C., his father is the head coach at UCA. He's the head men's coach at UCA. And got sophomore Jamal Holden. Jamal also played for Conway last year as a 9th grader.
Well, Coach, you had one of the most phenomenal runs at Magnolia. I know that was then, this is now, and you've had a great coaching career overall, even in the college ranks. So just kind of talk about in your first year at Conway, what your message has been to the guys.
Yeah, man, starting over, as Coach Pennington and I were talking about it a while ago, anytime you go somewhere else, as a student, you go to college, or as an employee, you go somewhere else. Starting over is always different. It has its challenges. And, going from Magnolia to here, personally, for me, that's leaving home and coming to Conway. That was not an easy decision. My family's still there. I mean, anybody that's ever left home will be like these kids one day. I hope, wherever they end up, I hope part of their heart will still be with Conway. And, I still have family down there. That's where I played. But being here at Conway now, and I can't be anybody else but myself, and I can't speak for anybody else. The only way I've been able to do it is just try to be consistent every single day with the things that you do. The little things. We were just actually talking yesterday in practice about, the highlight plays. There's only very few of those. It's the little things that you do on every possession generally that dictate winning and losing. And that's how we just try to approach every single day.
Coach, what is this team's identity so far since you've been in and had a chance to kind of coach these guys? What's this team identity?
So that's a great question. That's what it took us a little while to figure that out, who we are. We are a blend of, we changed our identity defensively, trying to pressure a little more and being comfortable with how we pressure. There are different levels of pressure, and trying to do that, and offensively being able to be multidimensional, try not to just be set in our one way, how we're going to do things. So right now, our identity is still a work in progress. I think it may take us a little while before we get there. They're getting used to me, and I'm getting used to them. So anytime you have change, it generally takes a while. And that's every day we're trying to be better than we were the day before.
Speaking of that, we're talking about trust, getting these players to trust you. Talk about what are some of the things you're implementing to gain that trust.
The consistency, trying to be the same guy every day. You said something about the record or success earlier. All that stuff looks great walking in, but once you start and you get to know somebody, then all that goes out the window. Yeah. It's about showing them when they do something good, patting them on the back, but when it's not going great, explaining to them why. Right. Anybody can just yell at somebody and tell them, do better or play harder, do something better, but trying to explain the why to them. I'm a why guy, and hopefully that makes a little sense to them during practice when I try to explain why.
Talk about the challenges you're looking forward to in the 6A Central. Obviously, you got both the defending state champion and runner-up. You got West Swift up at Jonesboro. You got plenty of teams in that conference that you could point to. So just talk about how excited you are for that.
Do I have to be excited about it? No, there's some great coaches, great teams in this league. But I will say there's great coaches and great teams all over the state. I think I'm looking at 2 really good ones right here in Bentonville and Harrison. Arkansas is very, very blessed, I think, with competition and coaching for our size. So I was good where I was at as far as coaches and players. I think very few places will you go around and not run into that in Arkansas. This will be no different. I know it's on a little bit bigger scale, but shirts and skins, Little Rock, Fayetteville, Magnolia, wherever. We're going to try our best, whoever we play against.
Kennard, I'd like to hear from you and the players. You got a new coach coming in, new buy-in. You know, you're a senior, 4 years of work, all, you know, accumulates to this, right? You've had a good summer. A lot of colleges interested in you. Now, you know, you've got that individual stuff taken care of. Talk to us about being a leader in Coach Lindsey's new system and bringing along the young guys, and also like to hear from everybody on that.
As you can see, we got a new coach and new players. And this year, I feel like we're going to be young, still a little bit, but not too young, but that don't mean nothing. So this year, we just need to come as a team, be with each other, and trust each other. Like Coach said, be consistent off and on the court. So, one day at a time, one practice at a time, one game at a time.
Yeah, I mean, it's very exciting. You know, new coach, new everything. You know, the past few years have been struggle for Conway, so hopefully going to bring a new era of basketball to it. And Kennard's been great, welcoming me and everything like that. He's a great leader to the team. You know, coach has been great so far, preaching us all the right things, stuff like that. So I'm excited for
So far, y'all heard that, right?
long season. But yeah, just ready to get going, ready to go, games start playing. So yeah, I'm excited.
You know, being here for the second year, you know, just helping out the people the first year here, you know, just taking what I've learned and giving it on to them, and just being a leader in practice, leading by example, doing the right things, and so they can follow on.
So when you talked about Kennard, keep in mind this is his 4th year of high school basketball. He said this will be his 3rd coach. So hopefully this guy gets to go out with a bang, whatever that bang is. Hopefully he has a good senior season. I think he's owed that. I think he deserves that one. And my man here has had to move a lot too. Being a coach's kid's not easy. You're stuck.
So when you're talking about, you know, this season, let's talk about that non-conference schedule. Give us an insight on just how you didn't put that together to prepare you for that 6A.
Yeah, honestly, I had nothing to do with that schedule. That was given to me.
Oh, it was good. Well, talk about it.
Yeah, our first 4 games, we got the pleasure. Let's see, we go to Maumelle, to Parkview, to Mills, and to Harbor. We only play once at home, I think, before conference starts. So we'll get a good kind of, I guess, test or kind of know where we are. I think pretty much throughout the whole year. Starting out early, like I said, I don't expect us to be anywhere. I don't think anybody expects to be anywhere at their best at the beginning. But especially when you've got so much new going on at once, our goal is throughout those games, at least, I don't think we're going to get a false sense of security of who we are by any stretch. Reality will hit us in the face right off the bat, and we'll be able to hopefully try to adjust accordingly.
So obviously with you coming in, being a new coach, bringing a new philosophy, a new mentality, how have the team, and not only the team, but the community, how have they embraced it?
Man, as far as all that's concerned, that's been great. Man, I coach a bunch of great kids. I know everybody says that about their kids, and sometimes people are lying. I'm not. I enjoy being around them every single day. And the toughest part of, when you have teams like that, the toughest part of it sometimes is Tuesday and Friday nights because somebody's got to lose. I've had teams before that on Tuesday and Friday nights weren't really good. But those other 5 days of the week, they were awesome. And sometimes, you know, when you play with them, with those teams, the only times you really get upset is when you do this and you look up at the scoreboard. And, man, so far with them, I mean, it's been a challenge, I think, both ways for us trying to adjust to each other every day on the court a little bit. If it wasn't, I don't think either one of us would be doing our jobs. But as far as hopefully they feel the same way, but being embraced by them, I mean, I couldn't have asked for anything more. And by the community of Conway, the community of Conway is a big reason why me and my family are there. My wife is an administrator in the district, and I've got a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old in the district. And that is... we looked at places to where we would want to raise our family, and Conway was at the top of our list.
Right on. So, okay, Coach, obviously, you know, you're moving in and the town embracing you said that they welcome you with open arms. Talk about how your outlook on this season and talk about some of your goals and expectations for this season. Yeah.
Me? Okay. I never in the past, even at my previous stops, I try not to make it about one game or one goal, because when you make it about a state championship, there's only going to be one team happy at the end of the year. Our biggest thing is try to maximize what we can do. And we will know that after the season, I guess. About halfway through, we'll probably have a little bit better of an idea for it. Is literally, I want these 3 young men by the end of the year to be the best they can possibly be at this time. And that's the same way with our team. Is that good enough to try to win a conference championship or a state championship? I hope so. But the number one thing is to try to prepare them for life after basketball and after Conway, because everybody's not a college basketball player. Everybody doesn't want to be a college basketball player, and that's fine. We want to have good young men that turn into good men, good leaders, good role models, good husbands, good fathers. That's the part of being the consistent part of every single day. You got to be a good dad. You got to be a good employee, even on days you don't feel good.
That's right. Any more questions? Okay, Coach. Well, that concludes our interview. We appreciate you coming down and allowing us to interview and get a sneak peek up inside what you're thinking and what you guys' outlook for the season is. Thank you.
All right, thank you guys. Thanks for having us.
Okay, up next, we have Bentonville High School boys basketball with head coach Kyle Pennington leading the way. How you doing, Coach?
Doing well. Thanks for having us down.
Man,
for sure.
it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Give an intro of yourself and let the fans know who all you brought with you.
Yep, this is my first year at Bentonville High School. It's good to see some familiar faces down here in Little Rock. Excited to be back down here and to bring these guys down here with me. Excited to be a Bentonville Tiger. Looking forward to the season ahead. Have a great schedule ahead. We'll talk about that in a minute. This is Javen Williams right here, our point guard, senior, great player, uncommitted right now. We got Mikey Dowda, 6'6" guard/forward. Good player for us, senior as well. And then we got Elijah Wilhelm, who is committed to Emporia State in Kansas, and just recently did that. 6'9", big man for us. I'm excited about what these guys bring to the table.
And talking about the schedule, I wanted to go right into that because when you were at Little Rock Christian, you all played 6A schedules. I mean, played national teams and all these different tournaments. And so I guess we'll start off by asking, I know a win is a win and all those different things, but now that you're in the highest classification, how did those type schedules prepare you for what you're going to face in the non-conference, but also in the 6A West?
Sure. I mean, I've always been the type to I'm not scheduling games to win 20 games, 25 games a year. I'm scheduling games to get my team ready, prepared to play conference, compete for conference championships, and then we want to compete for state championships. In order to do that, in my opinion, you have to play a really good non-conference schedule. We're doing that again here. Little Rock Central benefit game is where we start off. We got North Little Rock in the matchup showcase. Going to be a great game. Good team, good program. We get to play at home against Jacksonville and Cabot. And then we're in the Hooping on the Hill in Fayetteville. And then we are in Norman, Oklahoma in a tournament. And then Springdale is hosting a two-day classic in late December that we're playing in versus Marion, and I think a team out of Missouri, Lee Summit, Missouri. And so, again, highlighted Little Rock Parkview right before the break. And so we've got a really tough schedule. And I'm looking forward to these guys competing for sure.
Coach, you definitely have your own coaching style and playing style. Now that adapts. We even saw that at Little Rock Christian. What are we going to see at Bentonville? Is that going to be Kyle Pennington, or are you going to kind of adapt to players?
I've always adapted to players, but I do believe that we're going to play a certain style of basketball. We're going to be physical and tough. If you're not physically and mentally tough, you're going to have a hard time winning at a high level in any classification. We're going to be tough. We're going to rebound the heck out of the basketball. We're going to guard you. We're going to guard you multiple ways. We're going to throw some different zones out there, whether that's trapping along with our man-to-man. About 85% of the time we've played a lot of man-to-man. This is definitely the biggest team that I've ever coached. 6'3" point guard, 6'6", 6'9". Our two other projected starters are 6'4" and 6'5". It's a very big basketball team. So to your question a little bit, we're going to adapt to that. We're going to put our best players on the floor, but we're going to play fast. We believe playing fast in transition gives us the best option to get some shots, but we're going to control the game when needed as well.
So, Coach, that was kind of segued into my next question. What's going to be the key to your success or to the program's success this season?
Well, the players are the key to success, and that's the key to success in any program. Anybody that stands up here and tells you differently is lying or has a massive ego. Players are what win the basketball games. They need someone to help guide them, to teach them, to discipline them, to hold them accountable, but also to love them. And that's my job. That's my piece. Their job, it's their job to win basketball games. And they're going to do that. These guys have worked really hard, through the spring and summer and now into the fall. And so, I think the biggest key to success is these guys being consistent every single day with who they are in practice, and they've done a good job of that. And then just sticking together when the going gets tough. We have a tough non-conference schedule. We didn't put this together, again, like I said, to win 25-plus games. We hope that happens, but we put it together to test our guys and get them ready to go. And so we're excited about what they bring to the table.
I know you've talked about this before, and you've probably been asked a million times, especially up in NWA. You're back in a conference with Brad Stamps. I know Greg White is now at Thaden, so not in the conference anymore. And then Jeremy Price, I believe, also you coached with. So to be back with some of your peers, how cool is that?
Yeah, it's very cool. Obviously, rooting for those guys anytime they play somebody, outside of our conference. Once we get the conference standings going, we want to win every single time, and I know they do as well. And so, but no, it is fun to be around, guys that I got to coach with as a young guy that had a lot of influence on me. And so it's definitely fun to be back home in Northwest Arkansas.
This is for the players. I heard Coach talk about accountability, right? So with you all being the leaders of the team, talk about amongst yourselves and how the camaraderie is in practice and just how that accountability will help you guys succeed this year. Starting with you, Jay.
So the accountability, we all just hold each other accountable. Like if somebody's slacking in practice, like we'll get onto them or anything like that. But we're always just making sure we're working hard as a team and making sure everybody's doing the right thing.
I hold each other accountable, especially in practice. So in the game, it's not like new, and it'll help your team like go a long way, holding people accountable.
I would just say the same thing as they said. Just making sure everybody is in there. Everybody's helping as much as they can, and just make sure everything goes smoothly. And if things go smoothly, then we start seeing it on the results.
So, again, question for you all. Coach Pennington is coming from a championship pedigree, back-to-back state champions, and he's coming and he's bringing his mentality and philosophy. So, amongst you all, just how have the change been, or if there is a change? Talk about how it is amongst you all with the new head coaches such as Kyle Pennington.
Well, for me, the change has been dramatic with the play styles and how much faster everybody plays. But I think it's ultimately helped us because all of us have got more athletic. We did an 8-week strength program, so all of us have been in very good prime condition, getting ready for season. And I think everything is just falling into the right order for us to have a really good year.
Yeah, I really like what he's brought to Bentonville so far. It's really helped us, and yeah, I'm just ready to get started here soon.
Yeah, the change has been great. He's brought like a different mentality, more of like a dog mentality to our program, which has been great. And the play style too, like we're playing a whole lot different. We're playing faster instead of slow, which is really going to help us compete with the teams down in Little Rock. Because up in Northwest Arkansas, it's not as fast and competitive, but the way he's got us playing, it's really going to help us for when we come down here and have to play these teams in like the state finals and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I had a chance to see you guys play at the Big Miller team camp, and got a good look at you guys. So like you're saying, you're playing in transition. So have the transition playing faster compared to last year? Has it taken a toll on you guys' mentality, or talk about that?
I mean, the mentality, it's changed though. Like, I feel like playing faster, it's like more of like, let's go out there and kill him, like mentality really, instead of just like walking it up and just like, let's just see how it goes mentality. Like, I feel like when we're pushing in transition, like we're just trying to kill somebody at that point.
Yeah, playing faster for sure helps us, not just in transition, but like all the time. You're always ready for like anything that comes at you. So.
With playing faster, you get a lot more opportunities in like the half court because everything's not as set up if you play faster. So you can beat. So if the team's trying to press you, you can beat them up the floor. Or you have so many more options to beat the team if you play fast. So it's obviously benefiting us in the long run.
Coach, I see you brought your leaders here, the ones that you're leaning on. Is there any more other players that didn't come that you kind of want to highlight and talk about that's going to impact the game as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Kamran Akbar is a guy that is coming off an ACL surgery back in early January. He actually was cleared earlier this month. Mm-hmm. He's done a really good job. 6'4" wing, very good driving the basketball, has really worked on his shot. I think probably the best thing that happened to him during this ACL thing is it made him work on his shot a lot. And so he's gotten a lot better with that. He's a big physical wing that can guard multiple positions. We're really looking forward to what he brings to the table. We have Harry Ware, who's another senior, can shoot it really well. Guy that I think is going to have a good year for us as well. Miles Ganance, another senior who has worked really hard, kind of a glue guy for us. Cade Truffles is a junior who has really come on through the summer and the fall. I think he's going to have a good year for us in a great role. But I'm just really proud of all these guys and their buy-in to our program and what we're doing. That weight program that strength and conditioning program. It's tough, and I know everybody does it, and everybody's optimistic. Everybody loves this time of year because there's no wins and losses. But I'm very proud. We've won a lot of games, and I'm very proud of where these guys are at. I've seen what's going to make you successful, and the leadership on and off the floor from these three and some others They've really come along. You know, Big E over here, I think, you know, in the spring or you know, he was about 6'9", 275. He's 6'9", 250. His body looks really good. He's very athletic. He has really changed the way he moves up and down the floor. And I think that's going to be the biggest change that I think people see early in the season is, whoa, you know, these guys have changed their bodies. And so credit to them and the work they've done, for sure.
Wow. I see a big difference. You working, right? You working. So, Coach, with that being said, I know you talked about your scheduled conference and you talked about the leadership and you talked about the change and everything. Is there a team on your schedule, this is even for the players too, is there a team on your schedule that you circle that you're really looking forward to playing? It's not even just one redemption, but just a tough challenge that you might be looking for, you know,
Sure.
to help push you or to push
Sure.
the players.
I'll give you the answer everybody else gives you. On November 16th in the matchup showcase, that's our first game. We play North Little Rock. We're not looking past Little Rock Central, but that is a benefit game, which is more of a practice scrimmage type look. I'm excited about that game because Shelby Lewis and I work together at Russellville at Little Rock Central. So I'm excited about that benefit game. But then that North Little Rock game is the first game on our schedule. So that's the first one that you know, that I'm going to circle. It's going to be fun to get to coach against some old friends and mentors as well. But again, every game's important, especially when you build a schedule like this together. Every game's important.
For me personally, honestly, I'm trying to circle that state championship game. Just things to look forward to. Things to work for, just having that game circle at the end to progress towards the season.
I would say the Little Rock Central game. First game of the season. Just set up right on that game.
Yeah, I'd say the North Little Rock game. I'm not looking past any teams, and I just really just want to start off 1-0.
10-4. Well, with that being said, Coach, that concludes our interview. We appreciate you guys coming down. Taking that long drive down, that means a lot. Come down to support what we're doing. Appreciate you guys. Looking forward to see more of you.
I appreciate you, and again, thanks for having us down here. Kudos to all that you're doing. Kevin Miller's family stays in our thoughts and prayers. And again, just thankful for the media in Arkansas and what y'all are doing for Arkansas high school basketball.
You're welcome, Coach. Thanks. Okay, we're back with Harrison ball with head coach David Staller. How you doing, Coach?
Doing good, doing good. Appreciate you having us.
Man, thank you for coming down, and thank you for allowing us to get a chance to interview you guys. Okay, first off, give everybody an introduction of yourself and who you brought with you.
Okay, will do. First of all, I want to thank y'all for doing this. We're very appreciative, and I think it's great for the state of Arkansas and for basketball in general. It's just awesome. Y'all do a great job. Our team. I'm Coach Staller. This will be my 23rd year at Harrison, and I'm fortunate to coach these young men and some other young men we didn't bring with us. They're just a joy to work with every day. And the ones we brought with us here are Maddox Bell on my far right. Maddox is he's committed to Harding. All four of these guys started for us every game last year. He's committed to Harding. He was our leading rebounder last year, and probably one of our most improved players on the squad from the end of last year to now. Ryder Scribner. Ryder's a junior. He's a two-time All-State player for us. And Cole Cecil. Cole Cecil is a returning All-State player for us as well. And Hayden Martin. Hayden is a returning All-Conference player for us. He is another one that I feel like in the last year has improved a ton. So we've come a long way. We have everyone back. Now in life, you don't get many do-overs. We were 19-10 last year, but we were 7-7 in the conference, and we lost 5 games that we led late in the fourth quarter. And so I think we needed that, because the year before we won the conference and went to the state semifinals. We didn't have any seniors last year. We were kind of young and immature. Thought sometimes you think, well, okay, we're going to do it again. Well, you've got to earn it. You got to work, and you got to learn. And we feel like we've learned, and we're very excited for a do-over.
So with that being said, Coach, you're getting a do-over. What's some of your goals and expectations coming into this season?
Well, we naturally want to win our conference. We feel like we were real close last year, and we feel like we can turn some of those games around, and extra motivated to do that. Now the 5A West is very tough this year, and you're gonna have to be ready each and every night out. But that's our main goal, and then what that does sets you up for the state tournament, and hopefully make a big run in the state tournament as well.
Coach, you put together your non-conference schedule, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about how that non-conference schedule is going to allow you to, prepare you for your conference at the end. But let me say this first: we have you all at the matchup showcase, and this all contributed to what I seen at the Big Miller team camp over the summer. You had them guys rocking and rolling, and I'm pretty sure that they impressed everybody. So talk about that non-conference schedule, starting with Harbor at the matchup showcase.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you having us at the showcase. We're really excited about it, and we're honored to be a part of that. We know that every team in it is outstanding, and just to be a part of that field is just does a lot for us. We're appreciative of that, and we know Harbor will be a great team to play there, and we look forward to it. And we always like to try to play up. We feel like the most important time of the year is January and February, and Harbor is one of those games that you got to be ready. You got to play. They're well coached, and they're very talented, and we're excited about the challenge of playing them. We also play other 7A West schools. We play, I believe, Bentonville West. We play in the Rogers Arvest Hoop Fest. I believe we opened there with Nixa, Missouri. I don't know if anyone is familiar with Nixa, but there's a power in the state of Missouri. So I know we do play them. So we feel like what we try to do is play teams with different types of strengths. You may have a team with a really good post. You may have a team that comes out and likes to pressure you a lot. So we try to play teams that play in different ways. And we look forward to the challenge. But the big thing is to get us ready for January and February.
Going into your conference, we had Coach Chenault and Russellville in earlier. We talked about just the big progress that the 5A West made last year. I think as a conference, especially with Alma coming up, Van Buren improving, you guys just as a whole really impressed. So just talk about, you mentioned you finished 500, and talk about just how that improvement from all the other teams just made it that much more competitive.
Oh yes, it's fun. It makes it fun. Every night out is a great atmosphere. It's a great challenge, and I think there's a lot of rivalries developing throughout the conference. You have, Farmington moving in, but we played them in the 4A1 when we were both in the 4A, and so there's a lot of familiarities there. And then Alma and Harrison been playing for years, and so I think there's a big rivalry there. Mountain Home Harrison goes without saying. But Russellville is another one that brings a lot of another quality team, well-coached team in it. And it's just, if you're not ready each night, Van Buren's another team that comes to my mind. It's just, you've got to be ready, and the league, it has improved. There's a lot of teams with a lot of people back. We have everyone back, but other teams do as well. So that makes it, and I think by pushing each other in conference, it helps you in the state tournament to prepare you for that as well.
Okay, let's hear from the players. Starting here, excuse me. What's your outlook coming into this season? What's some of your goals?
Obviously, our conference is going to be a dogfight every night, but I feel like our team feels like we can win. Like we can win the whole conference and hopefully make that run in state and come home with that.
Just to do better than last year. Felt like we let down, like what everyone was expecting. And this year, I think we've gotten a lot better. So I think we can go win conference and go farther than that.
I agree with what he said, that we let people down last year, and always thought we just had one more year to fix it. But this year, I think we're going to be more disciplined, conditioned, and ready for our final year.
Just basing off what they said, I think we're going to do better this year, going for that conference championship.
So I saw you guys playing at the Big Miller team camp over the summer, and you guys y'all was operating on all cylinders right then. At this point, up to now, what do you all think your identity is, as a team? What do you hang your hat on?
We've all been playing together since junior high, so our chemistry is just off the charts. Since all of us have been here since 9th grade, me, Hayden, and Cole have been playing together since we were in probably 5th grade. We hang our hat on how well we gel together.
Same thing what he said. Our communication is just different. You watch other teams, and if they don't communicate, but that's not us. We're always talking, always know what we're doing, always know what the next step is.
I think chemistry for sure, but over the last few years, definitely our physicality and mentality of just winning every game.
Yeah, chemistry probably, because we've been together all our lives, working off each other. We do really well off each other.
Their willingness to work together is off the charts, as stated before. We rely on a lot of ball movement and people movement, and try to play fast and try to attack the defense early with ball movement. And these guys are willing to move, do whatever it takes to get the best shot possible each trip down.
Coach, I see the players you brought here today. Are there any more impact players that didn't come today that you might want to highlight at this moment?
Oh yes, we have some more that we left. We have a postman, 6'4", senior Lucas Paul, who improved dramatically. I think last home game he scored 24 inside. He improved throughout the year, and he's changed his body. We have another guard, Chance Lorenz, a junior, who is a knockdown three-point shooter. I mentioned a couple of these guys improving. He's in those lines too. He's improved dramatically in the last since the end of the season, and as a very hard worker and communicator. So we've got Caleb Rory, another big kid. He's about 6'6", that has really started to improve. I think he's got a chance to see a lot of minutes as well. So we're really excited about it, and excited about what these guys bring to the table. Now, we did have an injury. Eli McNutt plays football, and he was part of a rotation last year, and he's out for the season with a knee. But we have some guys that are improving that are ready to step up, step in the gap, and be ready to play.
Okay, amongst the players, I know last year was one of those seasons that you might want to hang your hat on or not use as motivation. So what team or what part of the season are you looking forward to, playing to help you, get to where you need to go?
I feel like we have 14 games circled on our calendar, and all 14 are the conference games. We really let people down in the conference, going 7-7, coming in with 3 losses? Mm-hmm. Coming in with 3 losses, and I feel like we can really improve. 5 games we lost in the fourth quarter, leading. I mean, that can't happen again, and I mean, we know it won't.
Non-conference games are just setting us up for conference. So, those are just getting us ready for the big games. And, that's just the goal, is to win all those 14 games and come out on top.
I think it's definitely our 14 conference games. Last year, I don't feel like we let a lot of games go in the fourth quarter, and we need those back this year.
For me, it's every game. 'Cause I'm a winner. I want to win everything. But definitely those conference games. Need those back.
Okay, Coach, with that said, that concludes our interview. We appreciate you guys coming down, giving us the opportunity to pick your brain a little bit and step inside your program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, up next we have Harrison High School girls basketball with head coach Jackson Dozier. That's it, right?
Yeah, you got it.
Coach, introduce yourself, man, and introduce who you brought today.
Okay. My name's Jackson Dozier. This is my first year as head coach for the Lady Goblins. I've been an assistant there for 2 years under Stacy Klott. I brought all seniors with us today. Starting from the left, we've got Tucker Webb, London Lee, Lila Jones, and Sager Clements.
Coach, talk about your outlook for the season and what's some of your goals and expectations coming in.
Yeah, so we went back and we had 4 goals for the season, and that first one is just to make the state tournament. So the 5A West, especially on the girls' side, is, in our opinion, one of the toughest conferences in the state of Arkansas. So our goal is to make it to state, get into that 3 or 4 spot in the conference, and it's been a while. It's been a couple of years since Harrison's been there, so we're looking to get back. We also host a Christmas tournament, LT's tournament in Harrison, and that's always a goal every year, is to do well in that and win that. And then we went back, and what we did was we looked at the stats from the last time Harrison was in the state tournament, because we wanted to try to model our team after those teams that have made it to where we want to be. And we discovered that the turnover percentage for them was very low, around 15%. And then their free throw percentage was super high, around 80, 85%. And ours, the last few years, hasn't been close to those. So we're trying to get back to those numbers.
So, Coach, you're new in the role. Describe your coaching style, your coaching philosophy, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think just being super aggressive is kind of my coaching style. An emphasis on defense. We like to really pressure defense. I think our press is going to be a big point of emphasis for us this year. Turning our defense into offense has been some words that we've been using, especially in practice. And these guys know that the intensity has really been picked up as far as our defense goes. So I think that's kind of our style and our main idea for the year.
Okay, Coach. So what's been some of your biggest challenges since you've taken over?
Oh, gosh. Just adjusting from being an assistant to being a head coach, learning the things that you worry about as a head coach and what you don't worry about anymore. And I've had some really good role models and people at Harrison that have really helped me out. Coach Stoller being one of those. I played for him at Harrison back in 2013, and he has really helped with the transition, as well as Stacy Klott at Harrison, the coach I previously worked for. She was excellent about kind of helping me adjust and giving me some responsibilities as an assistant that helped transition me into that head coach role.
Coach, you mentioned 5A girls basketball in the state of Arkansas a little earlier, and just how difficult it is.
Yeah.
And it's truly difficult. I already had a few conversations with some 5A ladies coaches today, and there's legitimately 10 or 11 teams that think they can win a state championship.
Right.
And as if it wasn't hard enough, Farmington moves up.
Yep.
And, I realize it's your first year as head coach, but you've been there, so I'm sure part of the schedule you're familiar with and scheduling those teams. But talk about, non-conference and then getting your girls ready for 5A, because there's no real off nights in 5A
Right.
ladies basketball in Arkansas.
Yeah, so you mentioned our non-conference schedule. We have 3 6A teams on the non-conference schedule. We play Springdale in a benefit game. We're playing Rogers. We're playing Bentonville West. And then we go to last 3 years, or before that actually, we've been going to the Willard tournament in Missouri. And there's a lot of really good teams there. And so playing that kind of competition, it prepares us as best as it can for the 5A West. And also the long road trips that you have that definitely take a toll on you during that time.
Okay, so this is for the young ladies. So starting from left to right, talk about your outlook coming into this season and just rehash about last season a little bit.
So last season was definitely not what we were expecting, but I think this season we've really picked up the intensity of our practices, and I think we're actually going to do pretty decent.
Kind of like what she said, like last season was not great for us and the season before that. So this year we're hoping to prove everybody wrong and show that we can do better.
This year is definitely going to be different from last year. We've gotten new coaches, practices, the intensity, everything's different. And I think our performance based off of that will show in games. And we are held to a very high standard now. And I think that will show on the court. And I think that's what we expect this season.
Yes, going off what she said, we definitely didn't have the best outcome last year. But this year, with our new coaches, the intensity levels, we definitely will be better this year.
So I want all four of you to expound on that a little more. I realize, again, it's Coach Dozier's first year, but you guys are familiar. But go into a little more detail. You guys are talking about it's more intense. It's faster. I want to hear a little more details about, how much more intense, how is it intense, and then how's that going to translate to your play?
So we hear quite often in practice that we need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and we basically just push ourselves in condition to be the best of our ability.
We have to run a lot if we do not perform to the standard that they want us to. So that always keeps us going to do our best. And
Last year, I would say the chemistry was not as good, and this year I think we're all on the same page. He's holding us to a standard that if we do mess up, he's going to be there to pick us back up, but he's gonna push us no matter if he has to yell, if we have to run, if we're uncomfortable, if we're dying. He's going to push us, but he's going to pick us back up, and I think that is what really helps us this year to perform the way we need to perform.
Yes, this year we are definitely out of our comfort zones. He pushes us. We strive for 80 to 90% on our free throws. If we don't make that, we are running. Our turnover percentage, like he mentioned, he wants our turnovers and our free throws percentage to be lined up. And we run for turnovers as well. So, yeah.
Coach, coming into your new role, what's your immediate focus? Coming in, what's your immediate focus?
I think really these guys were just my immediate focus. I've been with them for the last 3 years. These guys were sophomores when I came to Harrison, and so bringing them together and focusing on our team chemistry and just getting tighter as a group was kind of the immediate focus, and I think we've done a really good job of that. These guys have shown that they really love playing together, and that they're a group that can prove some people wrong this year.
So this can be for you or the girls. So how important is it to get off to a strong start? Sometimes you come out, you get into a slump, it might can hurt you, but coming out to a strong start might can,
Yeah, I'll go first on that. I think that's when we go back to our defense being a priority, and our pressure defense especially is we've got some really quick guards this year that on the front of our press is going to be a problem for some people. So I think ramping up the pressure and focusing on that defensive mentality is definitely going to help us get off to a better start in the beginning of games.
I think being able to start off really strong this season is going to help, because it's going to show us, it's going to motivate us and show us that we can be a good team. We can work really well together.
I feel like last year, in our first half of our games, we started off really slow and then we pick it up in the third and fourth quarter, and that really put us behind. So getting the strong start in the first half of the game will really help us out.
In practice, we are expected the first second we walk in the gym to be focused, ready to go, and there are consequences when it's not like that. And I feel like last year's games, we would come in intimidated or unconfident, and that's how our games would start off, and that's how they would end. And so throughout the season, we would carry that with us. And I think that this year, our coaches, they're constantly lifting us up, pushing us to be the best. So when we do come to conference and we show what we can do, we're not going to be just already down in our dumps and just not already performing as we should be.
There is always ups and downs. It's a roller coaster being a basketball player. But starting off strong is always a good thing. It helps with your confidence levels and not being so down all the time. I also think when you lose all the time, chemistry tends to fall apart, blaming each other. So hoping that this year, if we start off strong, we won't be at each other's throats.
So, I know with that being said, I know there was a few games that slipped through your fingers and that you might want to get that back. What part of the season or what team are you looking forward to facing this year?
I was listening to Coach Pennington earlier when he was up here, and he said the first game of the season is what we're focusing on.
Yeah.
So that's going to be my answer as well. But yeah, November 12th at Clarksville, we play Heber Springs, and so for me, that's the one that I'm focused on the most right now.
I'm personally excited for just any game in our LTs tournament, especially because we get to play some more local teams that we don't usually get to play, and I think it'll be fun and exciting.
I'm personally excited to play Mountain Home. I mean, they're our rival school. We had a player leave us, and Mountain Home was a better fit for her. So we're excited to play them and show them that we can do more than they think.
Okay.
I'm personally excited for the Willard tournament. I think it sets a good example of what our conference will look like. The Willard tournament's high competition, and it just sets a really good example for what we will be facing in conference.
I'm always excited for the Mountain Home game with them being our rivals. So, yeah.
Okay. With that said, that concludes our interview. We appreciate you all coming down, giving us the opportunity to get an inside look and just to hear what your outlook of the season is.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you. Okay, we're back with Guy Perkins, high school boys basketball with head coach Eric Lewis. How you doing, Coach?
I'm good, man. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Give us an introduction of yourself and let us know who you brought today.
Absolutely. So I'm Eric Lewis. Had the opportunity to be at Valonia High School last 2 years under Troy Campbell. Really good coach, Coach Darmer Perkins. Obviously, they're a captain now, so I've learned a lot from those guys. And been at Bentonville West with Greg White and Gary Simmons, Jimmy Porter, El Dorado. So For me, super excited to have the opportunity to be a head coach. My first year being a head varsity coach. So very grateful for our opportunity. Obviously, thank you guys for the invite to this media day. To my left, we have Thomas Lamb. So Thomas is going to be a returning starter for us. From last season, we went 2-21 last season at Perkins. So obviously, it's a program that's used to winning under John Hutchcraft. Obviously, one of the best coaches in the state's history, but obviously last year's last year and is what it is. So we have Thomas here, returning starter for us. To our left's going to be Dennis Witherspoon, a transfer we got recently. And then we have Vivek Bryant, another returning starter, and then Miles Hill, another returning starter for us. So,
Coach, first year, give us a little insight. How do you like to play? How do you like to coach? What are we going to see offensively and what are we going to see defensively?
Man, honestly, my big thing has always been, play super fast, get a lot of threes, get a lot of shots up. But honestly, at the end of the day, it comes down to your personnel. So with these guys, that was kind of our motto was let's get a lot of shots up, shots on goal, get a percentage, don't turn the ball over. But to me, offensively, it's big just kind of playing out 2 feet, being simple, as simple as you can be. 5-out open motion, pass, cut, fill. If it's not there, simple shots, drive, kick, but constantly playing out 2 feet and making a simple play was really, really big for us. Defensively, it's going to be a tight man pressure. We're not a big team that's in the gap, so we're going to be a team that really goes almost like 5-out deny, and we're going to play aggressive, really aggressive on-ball defense. But in my opinion, defensively, that's going to be where we have our biggest strength, in my opinion. So can we hold teams to 40 or less, 45 or less? Offensively, don't turn the ball over. Go get rebounds offensively, but really try to stay out of transition and try getting the half-court defense is going to be our big thing. So
it sounds like pretty fast, pretty high intensity, right?
To an extent. Our big thing is just half-court defense. We want to be a team that obviously can sit down and guard and sit. When I was at Bologna, it was can you play half-court defense? Offensively, obviously you're going to play teams that can really, really guard. But again, our big thing is, can we just get a shot up? Can we play smooth? Can we play in that kind of that flow? And I think that's gonna be the big thing for us this year is just kind of playing smart, simple basketball and let our defense win the games late in the games. So,
this is to all 4 players. I kind of like to hear from you guys. New coach, new philosophies. He chose the 4 of you guys for a reason, whether it's production roles or leadership roles. We can start down here, but just tell us a little about, how have you guys adapted and how are you embracing your new roles and your new coach?
Anyway, our what's kind of changed is our how we came at the game. We have a lot more running. It's more going back to the old ways, like back when we were a championship team. It's all about conditioning and being maybe not the most talented, but the most in the game, have the most energy, have the most drive, have the most being able to condition yourself to play the whole game kind of mentality. That's really what's changed is just being able to play a whole game.
I'll say with getting a new coach, our mentality has changed a lot. He has put more into us than what we got last year. But just getting a new coach all around is a lot different. Our practices are different. And I will say, with him being our new coach, I think we got it this year.
With having this new coach, I'm really just trying to fill the team out. But so far, I like it. He brings intensity to the practices, and I really like that.
So having this new coach, it's been a big 180 with the practices and how we get into things and how he motivates us. And I really feel like it's going to be a big foundation for us this year and be able to get through every game.
And Coach, I don't know how much you had to do with building your schedule this year. I'm sure you probably had to fill in some gaps and plug in some holes. But, tell us a little about philosophy about, we love to hear from coaches about, filling that non-conference schedule and what you like to do, where you like to go to then prepare yourself for conference.
No, absolutely. So we have 8-man football. So we obviously, most 1A teams are starting this week. A lot of 1A teams had benefit games last week. A lot of those guys are playing. They played last night. They played Monday. So most of the teams we play are playing this year played yesterday. So we're kind of waiting until about November that 8th or the 7th, our first game. Typically, you want to have a really good non-conference. Obviously, you want to prepare for your conference. At the end of the day, how you do a non-conference really means nothing. I mean, yes, it's a good confidence builder, but to be honest, this may sound crazy, but our schedule's a little light this year, to be honest. We're not playing a lot of 4A teams, 5A teams, 3A teams. We may have 1 or 2 2A teams, a lot of 1A. I'm super excited about these guys, but these guys need confidence. You know, we've worked really hard these last since April, and we want to have a schedule that was kind of, if that makes sense, you know, kind of close to our skill level. And we're gonna go out there and try to win as many games as possible, and try to build confidence at a really early pace. So yeah.
And you know, you talked about the 4 guys that are here. Who else do you have on your team that you are expecting some production from and leadership from?
No, absolutely. So we have Hogan Hicks. So we have 3 seniors up here, Thomas, Miles, and Vivek right here. Hogan Hicks, he's a guy that we kind of added towards probably like 3-4 weeks ago. Played last year a little bit, but he's a kid that can really shoot it. Has a really weird looking shot. But he's a kid that plays really good defensively, and it's a weird shot, but man, it goes in occasionally. Nathan Pate, scrappy little guard, 5'8", and then you have Garrett Fisher, you know, probably what is he, 5'11", 6 foot, 5'10", you know, it's hard to tell sometimes, but man, I'll be honest, you know, most 1A teams aren't gonna have a lot of depth, so this is our main 4 dudes. Hogan is a 5th, and then right now we're trying to figure out a 6th, 7th guy. But at the end of the day, most high school teams play 7 guys. You know, maybe 8, maybe 6, but maybe quarterfinals, semifinals. So that's what the community is used to. Last year was last year, but they have been very embracing towards myself, Coach Carson, our new girls coach, but the community's been great. We've been trying to push in social media. Obviously, we're in a great location around 11 schools, so our big thing is gear, fundraising, trying to push social media as much as possible, IG, Twitter, Facebook. So it's been big for us and trying to push and eventually have a great year with these dudes. And then obviously next year, let's keep ramping it up and let's be, you know, just that progression. So yeah.
So Nigel Wright with COE Films loves to finish up every single school, and he loves to ask the question. I'm going to ask you guys too. I know last year y'all didn't have the year that you wanted. Probably a couple of games that you either maybe got blown out and kind of got under your skin, or maybe there were a couple of games that you were right there and slipped through the cracks, slipped through your fingers that you should have won. So just tell me, you know, what teams are on your schedule that you're like, man, we should have got that one last year, or man, they really blew our doors off last year. What games are you looking forward to this season?
We're really going to take it game by game, but I think you're always going to have to go to those conference games. Those are our most important games to make sure we get a good run in district and regionals of state. So I think we're going to definitely push at those games more harder and more focus on those games than anything else. So
going back to what he said, conference games was really big for us. We're looking forward to conference games and just going game by game.
Honestly, just going game by game is really what we need to focus on as of right now, and that's something we really need to focus on at the moment.
For me, it's basically every game just as important as the next, and we can learn from wins and losses and get everything out of each game we play, and increase our foundation and build up from there.
All right, guys, I appreciate y'all. Coach, I appreciate you driving.
Absolutely, yeah.
Showing up, and best of luck to y'all this season, all right?
Awesome. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we're back with Guy Perkins High School, the girls basketball team. We got head coach Jeremy Carson. How you doing, Coach?
Hey, I'm good. How are y'all doing today?
Man, we're doing great. Thank you for coming down, allowing us to interview you. So first off, give us a little introduction to yourself and introduce your players from left to right, please.
Absolutely. So I think before we get started, it's really important to note at a small school like ours, we have students that wear a lot of hats and do a lot of things. And so out of the players that we have up here, 3 of the 4 have not been in basketball. They've been in volleyball along with me as a coach. So that's been a really unique experience this year. And so our season ended last night, which means basketball season officially begins after we leave here and go to practice. But I'm Jeremy Carson. This is my first year at Guy Perkins. I came on board right around the end of February last year. And so what was really cool is I got the opportunity to work with a lot of these players in the off season and in the summer. Because I'm coaching both volleyball and basketball, we split our time evenly between the 2 sports. And obviously, starting in July, we went in, all in on volleyball and had a really successful season. So I'm looking forward to seeing that carry over to basketball as well. But yeah, it's a totally different team than what we had at the end of last year and in the summer, too. So starting over here, I've got Savannah Duncan. She's a junior. And you'll notice all of these are juniors because we are junior heavy on our team, which is a blessing. Savannah joins us from Quitman. She transferred in at the end of June, so really excited to have her. Right next to me is Maddie Beach. She transferred in from Greenbrier. She's also going to be a junior this year, and looking forward to watching her compete with us. Over here to my left is Lillian Barnes. She's also a transfer from Greenbrier. And then I've got J.C. Varnell, who's a junior, and she's a returning starter from Guy Perkins.
And talking about wearing many hats, you come from 6A Cabot to 1A Guy Perkins. So along with, taking on the volleyball coaching duties, just what are some other challenges that you've kind of, I guess you could say, overcome, or just maybe that you weren't, that you didn't quite expect?
Well, absolutely. Like every day is a fun challenge. And I think that's what makes this job so invigorating and so fun. I'm, in addition to the coaching duties, I'm also athletic director. I also got to do assistant baseball. So we get to do a lot of different things, right? And so the whole key, I think, and the biggest challenge is being present. And that's what we talk to our kids about all the time, is being focused on that one singular thing that's in front of you. Like today, our biggest focus once we leave here, obviously, we want to do well here, but our biggest singular focus is going to be that one practice that's ahead of us, and just remaining present and allowing us to be really good in the moment. And that's what our biggest challenge is, I think, and that's just day to day.
Coach, talk about your goals, expectations coming in this season.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Love to talk about that. Again, with the team, it's a lot of unknowns for us because our team compositions really changed from the summer. For us, I think the biggest thing is for us to be able to play functionally fast, and that's on offense and defense. And so what we talk about when being functionally fast is just playing the fastest we can, without turning the ball over, playing the fastest we can without taking unnecessary risks defensively, and just competing our brains out every day. And so that's the biggest focus, and that's how we like to play. That shows up a lot of different ways, and it's just going to depend on our personnel, and we're going to know a lot more this afternoon and by the end of this week for sure.
Okay, let's talk about the players. Let's get you all outlook on just what this season is supposed to be about for you all and what it means.
So I feel like me being new, most of us being new, I feel like we really just need to come together as a team. And we did that a lot this summer, I feel. And we definitely just need to make sure that we keep our heads up no matter what. We don't let that separate us no matter what comes this season.
I think adapting, most of us are new, and I think connecting with one another, I think we can really do great things. And also coming from another school that was 6A and then going to a 2A school, it's different. It's a lot different. So I think we just need to come together and win.
Like my teammates said, a lot of us haven't played together, but as long as we play hard, practice hard, and train hard, and listen to our coach, I think we have some promise.
My biggest thing coming into this is I feel like I might have digressed a little bit last season. So just wanting to go back to the fundamentals, work on shooting form, ball handling, just the basics, really.
Talk about that last season, the previous season, all the way up to now. What do you plan on putting in to help change that? The outcome of last year.
So I only watched probably 3 games that they played last year, and I've intentionally not watched film from last year too, because for me as a coach, I want to come in and not have that preconceived notion of this person's a starter, this person's role is this person's role is that. I want to encourage our players to kind of explore what their talents are, what their work ethic is, what they're willing to do to carve out their role on our team. So of the 3 games that I watched last year, it was a very senior-heavy team. There were 3 seniors that did a majority of the scoring, did a majority of the rebounding, did a majority of the ball handling. And so for us, it's just going to be really discovering our roles and what we can do there. And for me, in terms of our goals and expectations, it's just going to be to win every day with our effort. Again, starts with practice this afternoon, starts with tomorrow's practice, and just trying to go 1-0 every day. I think that's probably going to be the best way to approach probably this what we call a 2-week cram session as we get started first or get ready for our season.
Talk about going into practice. What's some of the things you're going to focus on?
Man, everything, right? No, for us, we want to establish our pace of play, and we do that with our pace of practice, right? So for us, everything's full motion. We do a lot of full court drills. We do a lot of passing communication drills. And we try to keep everything as competitive as possible. I'm not a really big one-on-none type of guy or 5-on-none. We want to make sure that we have our defense there so that we can be working both at the same time and just be really efficient with our use of time. I'm like so excited to get ready. I'm almost giddy at this point to get back so that we can get in the gym. But that's really, for us, establishing that pace, establishing that effort, and then from there, it's just going to be installing how we're going to play, which is really a decision-based model on offense and defense.
I'd kind of like to hear you go into a little more detail about how you are going to play. Obviously, you're new here, and just like every other coach says, I've got to coach to my players' ability. But what style are you going to ultimately want to play offensively and defensively?
Yeah, absolutely. So I come from on offense, come from the read and react school where we give our players decisions. We give them opportunities to make choices based on what they see with the defense, what they're reading with the defense, and what they're reading their teammates doing. That's tough, especially at the 1A. Because you got to live with bad decisions because we have to coach that. And what I mean by that is making the wrong read on the floor. And so the very first phase of our season is really going to be installing that and being able to play through those things where we should have done this, but we did this. But I think in the end, our ceiling becomes so much higher when we do that because it's harder to scout. Our players know the game, and they're able to free their minds and play just based on what they see. Just been around the game for 14, 15 years coaching in high school, and this is the conclusion that we've kind of come from there. And so, we have to live with that, like the poor decision-making sometimes, and we just have to correct that. And that's where the players being coachable is a huge deal, and players picking each other up is a huge deal.
Well, that leads right into my next question. You're running a high IQ basketball offense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about the girls and their basketball IQ and what you're expecting out of individually each one of the ones that you chose to bring.
Oh, that is a great question. So the biggest thing for our girls is going to be to again, learn those decisions, learn how to make those, to be able to play in space and play free. The reason that I brought these four, and then I've got another one, I had a substitute just in case because we were having a little sinus issues too. She's here, Aaliyah Bryant's here in the back as well. The reason that I brought this is a core of my team. These guys played together more than anybody did in our team camps. Their communication is top notch. Their athleticism is really good, especially for the 1A. Their skills are fairly advanced. And so at this point, we feel like we can take those skills, we can take the athleticism, we can take the little bit of chemistry that we had, and we'll have to shake the rust off, over the course of the next couple of weeks. But we feel like this is really the core of our team, and they're going to be able to read each other.
Coach, what's the key to what do you think the key would be to y'all's success this year?
The key to our success is going to be our effort. I really think it comes down to that. It's going to be our effort, it's going to be our enthusiasm, and it's going to be our competitive mindset. And that's something that we've worked on from the time that I've got here. We've really talked a lot about being present, competing, not getting down, not being defeated, learning from mistakes, learning from games. And what I've seen so far has been really positive. Okay, and some of that's been on the volleyball court too, but the philosophy is the same regardless of the sport because the kids are the same. And so what we're seeing there is really, I feel a lot of progress in those areas. And I think that's going to dictate a lot of our success this year. But you can ask them too.
I want to hear from all four. Let's start down here. I want to hear a little specifically about your game, right? What do you play? What do you do well? What do you need to work on about your game to get better?
So being new, of course, I need to, get to know my teammates, my coach, kind of understand where they're all coming from. I feel like I've already got a pretty good hold on that. I, of course, coming from Quitman, have played basketball before, and I'm just willing to build my progress that I made at Quitman up a lot more here, and hopefully just get to actually bond with my teammates and my coach and getting to have the family that we're building.
I think it's going to be a really good year, and starting new is always good. And I know I can do good, and I know I can be a leader on this team, and I know I can ball, and and I have to be liable and responsible for my team, and I need to take action, and I need to get business done, and got to shoot good and play good.
Heard that.
I think if I come into practice ready and prepared and listen to my coach and work hard all season, I think my season will be successful, and me and my teammates will do well.
Yeah, going off what they said, as long as we come into practice ready to work, have a good attitude, hustle, then I think we'll be all right this season.
Okay, Coach, to wrap it up, to conclude, I know there was a moment last year you probably looked at and saw some games that, I don't know about you, but the girls, so to speak, y'all had some games that kind of slipped through your fingers. Is there one game or a team or player that you're looking to go back against and see could you get a different outcome?
That's going to be you, JC.
I don't think there's like a specific game. I'm just wanting to take one at a time. I feel like we let a lot of them slip through our fingers in the last half. And so just getting that intensity and practice how you play, just work each game, next point every time.
Okay. Well, that concludes our interview. We appreciate you all coming down and letting us get a sneak peek of what you're thinking. Thank you.
And thank you guys for having us, and thank you for what you're doing for basketball in our state. It's really, I think it's huge, and we need more of this, and I really appreciate you guys.
You're welcome. Okay, up next we have Nevada High School boys basketball with head coach Jamario Bell. How you doing, Coach?
Doing good, doing good.
Coach, introduce yourself and introduce the players that you brought with you. Just that mic.
Yes, sir. I'm Jamario Bell, and this is my second year here at Nevada. And this is Brogan Rhodes. He's a senior. Kavion Coleman, he's a senior, and Caleb Moss is a senior as well.
Coach, so your second year, your first year, could you talk about the first year, and could you talk about what some of your goals and expectations for this upcoming year?
First year, I had a plan of just coming in and setting expectations, setting, a standard and a culture how we would play. And we were blessed to end up playing in the state championship game, and we ended up coming up short. And just this year, I really want to build on everything that we started last year, just on our offense, defensively wise, really defensively wise, because we're a defensively team first. I feel like we're a whole lot better defensively, offensively wise, just understanding the system, understanding the scheme, and all those things. And I really look forward to us making another step ahead this year.
You mentioned you ran into a really good Mark Tree team that was probably as motivated from the previous year before as any team in the state. But just how big was that for Nevada? You guys were a good team all year, but I don't know that there was there wasn't, you're thinking of New School or probably not County Line, more so maybe New School last year that would probably go match up against Mark Tree. But you guys, like you said, defied the odds and got to Hot Springs. So how big was that for your community?
That was big for our community. We have a state championship in our history here, but last year it was a big learning experience for these guys, then being under the big bright lights. And I think that had something to do with it, a part to do with it. But Mark Tree was a well-coached team. They were a very deep team with depth, and they were a dang good team.
Also wanted to ask you, people remember you from those great Junction City teams about a decade ago. Of course, you played basketball and football for the Razorbacks. And how did you get to Nevada? What brought you there now in your second year?
Man, God really put me in this position to be at a great school like Nevada, that has basketball culture, that has a community that really supports, just unbelievably just supports their kids, supports their coach, and their, just the whole school. It was just big, just me getting, like I said, to a basketball school, but through a couple of friends, I was at El Dorado coaching there, and the opportunity came, for the job to come open. And like I say, thank God I got the job, and I'm happy to be here.
Coach, coming off last year, heading to this year, what do you think your team's identity would be, or it is at this moment?
Our identity is most definitely on the defensive end. I believe that is what put us in place to have the great success we had last year, and we're just going to build on it, and we're going to keep on harping and keep on building on just defense, and that will get us a championship, I do believe.
Same question to the players.
Yes, sir. I think our identity is, like he said, a defensive team, and we're a very disciplined team, and that has helped us. Our defense has played a tremendous role in keeping teams to a low-scoring game, and really helped us win a lot of games last year, and we'll do the same this year.
Yes, sir. We just playing defense, working to get back to where we was at last year and beat a better team, play Mark Tree, just get back to where we was.
Yes, sir. It's like they said, our defense really helped us lead our offense. Our defense really helps us lead our offense, and it's really us just being in shape, being able to play defense for the whole 4 quarters, and just be able to outrun everybody.
So let's talk about that last year in the championship game. Talk about the experience in the championship game.
Yes, sir. It was a good experience. I mean, being under the bright lights, a big stage. We've never been there before, and it was just a big. It gave us some momentum and kind of. We were just excited to be there, and I feel like we've been there. So this year we're ready to be there. So,
like Caleb Moss said, it was a good opportunity to be there. We just shook up about it. So, but we'll be back for sure.
It's like they said that it was just a really big opportunity for us. It's something new that we were able to experience, and it was a big step for us. But honestly, I think it really just got us ready for this year to hopefully be able to come back to it.
So, Coach, you know, your culture, your philosophy, for people that don't know, what is that?
Our philosophy is, like I said, we're gonna play man-to-man defense, and we're gonna get after it. We're gonna pick you up full court. We might pick you up half court. We're just gonna play hard as we can on defense and on offense. We're just gonna be a pace and space team. I really trust these guys being in year 2 to, like the last coach talked about, being a read and react offense. Not really being a read and react, but at the same time, just giving them the freedom just to play in a flow on their own.
So Coach said that he giving you all the freedom to play on your own. So I'm pretty sure that comes with him trusting you guys and the leadership role. So talk about the leadership role each one of you all play on the team as of right now.
Really, I think a big part of like us being able to be good leaders and stuff is we've been together since elementary, that we've just really had that chemistry to be able to go out and play with each other. And for the young guys that are coming up, that chemistry just helps us like enhance them and just make them better players overall and helps us lead them.
For Coach to give us the leadership role, it's a big role to take order into, and for us to take us 3 to have that role, it's an honor to have that role and take our team under us.
Being a leader being in the leadership role of the team is really a big thing. I just try to encourage the other guys, help the other guys out. If they mess up, just go show them, and they'll get it next time. So, being a leader is a big role. And so.
Okay, Coach. So talk about that championship game. You know, a lot of people that was watching it, and you know, they was rooting you guys on. So your community. Talk about that championship game and how has it affect the community and, you know, the atmosphere so far going into this year.
The state championship game last year, you know, we didn't get the result that we wanted, but it just really brought the community out more. It just really just made people buy in more. You know, when I first got there last year on May 29th, my whole thing was to first get all these guys to buy in. They bought in, and when they bought in, their parents bought in, and their parents bought in, the rest of the community bought in. It's just a whole community thing, you know. It started with one of our alumni games that we had last year. We had a big turnout for that event, and it's like everybody just started coming out more, you know, people that haven't been to game in years. You know, people were telling me I haven't been to game in years, but now they're excited about, you know, the brand of basketball we're playing and what we're doing, and everybody's just so excited about it.
So, Coach, I just heard Coach talk about the community and the support that you all are receiving right now. So how important is it for the community to still stand by you going into this season?
It's very important. We got a great community down there in Nevada. Everybody's there. They support. They donate things, and they're just there for us. And it's important for them to come support. When we have support, it encourages us and really pushes us, drives us, and we're going to bring home a state championship this year. So,
like, it's a small community, but you know, everybody come together as a big one community, and they support everything we do, and we just providing what we can for them, playing, and they provide for us too.
It's like they said, it's a very tight community, but I feel like everybody looks at it as more of a family, not a community. We've all grown up together, and it's just the people from over the years, like last year at the state championship game, we had people that hadn't been in the game for, there isn't no telling how long, but they all showed up from out of state just to come and support us. So,
And that's awesome. So what about inside the school, your peers, your classmates? Talk about the atmosphere around the school.
It's a great atmosphere. We have everybody that are supporting us, and I know the other schools and everything else, they told us how they were supporting us, and at our school, everybody's just like a family. They're just all supporting us, telling us good job and everything else.
Rock stars.
Yes, sir.
No doubt. So, Coach, talk about that non-conference schedule that you have on your list and how it'll affect your performance going into conference.
Non-conference schedule, we scheduled a pretty tough schedule. We have Mills on there. We have Morrilton. We're in the Nashville Classic, so we'll be playing probably some of the best. For sure, Mills and Morrilton are top 4, maybe top 2, top 1. You know, they might be the best one in their classification right now. So I just really wanted to get us some good competition and really see where we are early in the season. You know, I have a thought that if you don't really get yourself ready for the postseason, you won't be ready. So I think just playing those bigger schools will really get us ready and get us prepared for some stuff we might see later on in the year.
Okay, and let's talk about that schedule, the team that's on that schedule. Which one have you all circled, or if you have circled one, which one you would like to see, which one would you like to play, or you're looking forward to playing?
We would say we really don't have a game circled on the schedule. Every game's a big game, you know. Just the next one up, the one that's in front of us. We get that one out of the way and move to the next one. So just the game that's in front of us.
Same as Caleb said, and you know that's the mentality we're gonna have. The most important game of the year is the game in front of us, the next game that we're going to play, and we don't want to overlook anybody. We want to give everybody our full undivided attention and treat it like it's our last game.
You got anything? Okay, with that said, that concludes our interview. We appreciate you all taking time out to come down, give us opportunity to interview you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all having us.
Thank you. Good luck to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're back. We got Mills High School boys basketball with assistant coach Aaron Campbell. How you doing, Coach?
Excited to be here.
Coach, thank you all for taking time to come out and visit with us today. First off, let them know a little bit about you, your program, and who you brought with you today.
All right, so I guess I'll start with myself. It's unusual not to see Raymond Cooper leading the program, but Coach Cooper had some things he had to take care of today, so I'm standing in his place, super excited in the faith that he has in bringing me on. This is my first year with Mills Boys Basketball. Again, my name is Aaron Campbell. I've been around the state a little bit. Used to coach at Conway junior high program. That was the last junior high program that I coached before I came back. Been in college athletics on the women's side a little bit, Arkansas State and the University of Tulsa, where I was the director of operations and scouting at those places. So excited to be here. Mills, everybody knows Mills. They're pretty familiar with what we do. If I'm not mistaken, I could fact check me, but I believe Coach Coop in the last 18 years has been at least to 9 state championship games. So what we do, it's been proven. He has those rings to prove that as well. Our guys that we have here today, we got our seniors, Zaylin Rowland and Jody Bell, leading our program every day. And then our juniors that we have with us today, we got Messiah Curry and Anthony Hester.
Okay, to the players, what's some of your goals and expectations coming into this season?
Some of our goals this year for this season, our expectation really straight up just we want to go to state and win it. We want to take over. And if we follow our principles going to take over everything, and we're going to have a successful season if we all buy into our principles.
Yeah, he's right. Really just we focus on state championship every year. That's the main goal. That's the biggest game of the year. That's what everybody's watching. So we have no game that's circle we want to play. The biggest game we want to play is the championship. That's all we focus on.
Expectation I got this year is to win the state. I've been with my brothers 2 years. Them two, I've been with them 2 years, and Jody 2 years. He transferred. Every game, every year, I got close, but I never won state. So that's the only thing on my mind, win state.
Like they said, we really just focus on winning state. We know if we respect the game got to respect us. We go in there engaged, all playing on one accord and connected. We can't lose.
Coach, considering all the success that Mills has had, talk about some of the expectations that you all have put on the boys coming into this season.
I think I kind of set the stage for that when I said that Coach Coop has probably been to like 9 of the last 18 state championship games. So we talk about that every day. Some people fear discussing championships and they just go into the season. We want to have a good season. We want to develop. We want to get better. We expect that. We demand that every day. So when we have those conversations with our guys, when we break out of our huddle every day, we're talking about being a champion. So that's the most important thing to our program, building guys who are going to win on and off the court every day. We take discipline serious, accountability. Coach Coop is going to Coach Coop, and that has proven that it's the method that every program should be trying to pursue when you talk about building those guys and going to the next level and them being successful as well. So we have those conversations with our guys again, and as you hear, everybody's conversation they said is they plan on winning state. They was talking about that back there earlier when we came a little early and wanted to see what the things that people are talking about, and not many people said that. So we plan on doing that, and that's how we function every day.
Right. So that mentality is to win. That mentality is to get the state and bring it back home. So what's the message in practice? You know, what's that one thing y'all hanging y'all hat on to get there?
The one thing we're hanging our hat on to get there is the same thing that I want to say MC and Anthony Hester said, our principles. We live and die by our principles. We expect we have 8 offensive principles and 9 defensive principles. And we talk about them every day. We quiz that every week. So when you come to practice, if you're not holding up the principles, you get kicked off the court. If you're not holding up the principles, you can expect not to play. If you're not holding up the principles, you can expect not to dress out. So that's the thing that we hang on our hat every day is, are you leading effectively? Are you coming to practice every day the Conway way? And the Conway way is 100% every day.
I wanted to ask you, Coach Wilburn at Mark Tree gained some really national fame really last spring when she led the Mark Tree boys to the state championship. I don't know if you've coached. I get you have coached girls in the past.
Yes.
So what are maybe some? I know coaches are coaches. They're going to be hard on the kids and all those different things. But maybe what are some of the differences that you've seen in that?
Some of the differences that I've seen between boys and girls, coaching the difference, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Guys, you don't have to coach passion.
Yeah.
Girls really enjoy being a part of a team. And I can say girls basketball, they play basketball the right way. You train them up, you tell them what to do, they're going to do it exactly how you said do it. But boys basketball, that passion, that fire. These guys, we have early morning workouts. We come in the gym sometimes at 6 o'clock in the morning. You have to kick these guys out the gym. Guys, we got to go home. So the difference between, I would say, girls and boys basketball and the places that I've been is the passion and the fight that these guys come with every day, and the togetherness that they have. He talks about a brotherhood. These guys are together every day. They hang out in the cafeteria together. They hang out after school together. You almost got to fight them to pull them apart to make them go to class sometimes because they want to be together. So that's the biggest thing that I see between coaching girls and coaching boys since I've been at this program, and I'm excited to be a part of something like that.
So Coach just talked about that you all like to be together, like to hang around with each other. So let's talk about that chemistry, and how does that chemistry translate to you all being successful this year?
I feel like the more you be around each other, the more you know each other. And I feel like the more you know each other on the court, that's a big advantage of having over the other team. So us being around each other, that's how we build our bond and build connections. Like, say for instance, when we go through the toughest times.
These are my brothers for sure. We've been through everything. Me and Zaylen been through everything. I've been with him for the most of my time here. And we've just built a bond, built a trust. I know he got my back, I got his back. Just same for Jody, same for Messiah, and for the rest of the team. We're connected. We're a connected group, and the goal is to win the championship, and that's what we talk about here today.
These are my brothers, and I say the bond on and off the court is amazing. Like, I call them for anything off the court, on the court. And during the fourth quarter and in the middle of the games, like if we down or something, we can feel each other's energy, look each other in the eyes, and we know we finna come and get this win.
Back to what MC said, we being around each other every day, we build a connection, so it's like we build trust. So I know if I miss a rotation or an assignment on defense, I know my brothers got my back, and that plays a huge part into going into the game.
Coach, we've all seen Mills play for years and years. I've been to countless games. Everybody knows Coop style. That being said, every year's a little different depending on your personnel. What can we expect to see from Mills this year offensively and defensively?
Yeah, every year is different. But this year we're going back to the classic style of Conway basketball. And we're going to play fast, and we're going to be tough, and we're going to be accountable. This team we live and die defensively, and we've been practicing that way. We've been expecting them to turn it up a notch. Last year they are not. We talk about it that championship loss. Well, not championship loss, but that Final Four loss against Farmington. We talk about that. Teams tend to forget what that pain feels like. And what we do is when we're not getting the best out of them out of practice, we like to remind you, is that the same pain that you felt last year? Do you want to feel that again? So when I say we're diving into our defensive game and what we do and playing fast and playing together and 100% doing the things that we do in our principles, that's what we're leaning on every day, and we're just going back to the classic way of Conway basketball.
So, Coach, Conway basketball, like I said, everybody know. And I see you have 4 of your leaders here. Are there any other impact players that's on the team that you want to shout out or recognize?
Absolutely. I could name them every day, all day. I wish I could bring half the team for sure up here. But I want to see who my guys would like to shout out as their teammates and people who they believe are going to help us get to the next level. Who would y'all say?
Marshall Walls.
Absolutely.
Marshall
Number
Walls.
one. Who else?
X.
Elliott.
Zaylen Elliott. We call him Bird. Zaylen is definitely a big part of what we do. And who else?
Marlon McDaniel.
And Marlon McDaniel, Deuce. We call him Deuce. So those three guys, they play a huge part in playing roles. Everybody can score 20, 30 points a game. But the guys that they just named, those are our major role players. They are our difference makers. So we definitely need those guys. You got one more?
I got one more. Tyson Thompson.
Tyson Thompson, our big man, our heavy guy in the paint. Tyson's definitely a big part of what we do. We're working on some things to make him tougher offensively, but defensively, we need Tyson to really do what he does to help us bring those second chance points in.
Okay, talk about that non-conference schedule and how we done heard some of these teams they got you on their schedule. So talk about that non-conference schedule real quick and how it's important for you to go through the gauntlet to prepare you for your conference.
Well, you guys know Coach Coop. He believes in playing everybody up front. We got some teams that, we really wanted to get on the schedule that wasn't available, but we're in the Battle of the Rock at Southwest Little Rock. We're in the Bendy Classic. We're in the Conway Classic. We'll be in the Russellville Tournament. We open up with Robinson, and right after that, I think we have Little Rock Central. We're really not really looking forward to just one particular game, but we want to see everybody. Everybody who wanted to play us, we want to play them, and we want to get better this season. That's the point of getting a good non-conference schedule together. So hopefully, as we get those schedules back from each of those tournaments, they put us against some tough teams because we know that's what it's going to take to get us to the next level and get us over the rock. This senior class right here with Zaylen and I can't say your name. Zaylen and Jody. These guys are a part of one of the few classes that Coach Coop has that doesn't have a championship ring. Matter of fact, they're the only class. So as we say that, we're looking forward to everybody.
Okay. With that being said, to wrap it on up, what's that one team that's on your schedule that you're looking forward to playing? It might not be one team, but player. Which one?
Whoever in that championship game.
Amen.
Right on. Well, with that being said, that concludes our interview. We appreciate you all coming out, giving us the opportunity to interview you and get a little insight on your mind frame about the season. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Kinley.
Oh.
Oh.
Sorry. For the men. Huh?
I'm not gonna make Kinley stand up. I'm just gonna get y'all stick right here.
Yeah, the secret. Oh, here.
My bad, my bad.
Okay, up next we have North Little Rock High School girls basketball. We got head coach Daryl Fimple leading the way. How you doing, Coach?
Doing great, doing great.
Hey, Coach, give us a little insight about your program, about yourself, and let us know who all you brought.
First, I'll just start out introducing them. This is Katie Fimple. She's a junior for us this year. This is Lauren Brewster. She's a sophomore this year. This is Jalea White. She's a junior. And then this is Kinley Mears, a senior this year. Had a fantastic group of kids to work with. Can't be more impressed with how they're working, how they're actually getting better and better each day, especially this time of the year. It's getting closer to tip-off, and we're kind of getting locked in here. So it's a great opportunity to showcase them today. But, you know, we're coming off of a 27-5 record last year. Got beat in the state semifinals by Central, who ended up winning it. Actually beat Central 3 times that last year. So that's kind of been the motivating factor. Going into it is, you know, remembering that feeling on our home court, how it was like, and then prepare every day like that. We've got a challenging schedule as always. You know, we don't have a lot of home games. We're going over to Bartlett and playing over there again in November, where we'll play Bartlett. We'll also play Dyersburg, Tennessee, and some of those. We're actually going over Christmas up to Mountain Home this year, so Kinley's got a bunch of family up there, so we decided we were going to take her home, so that's kind of cool. And then we're going to play in Northwest Arkansas a couple weekends, and then our conference is as good as always. You know, you got Conway, Central, Cabot, Bryant, Southwest, Jonesboro. All those guys are really capable of beating you and making you better night in, night out. And I think that's been a big, huge plus in our conference. You know, the last 2 years, the state semifinals were all 4 teams from our league, which says something about girls basketball in 6A Central. So kind of keep that running. And like I said, I really like our team. I like how we're going to play a little bit different, a little bit faster. We're not as big. A lot of 5-out stuff. Defensively stays the same. But I think our kids are really ready to compete this year.
Coach, you kind of hit on a lot of things right there that I was going to touch on, but let's dive deeper into it. So
Okay.
that non-conference schedule to start out, just how important is that non-conference schedule for you guys? 'Cause that 6A is a beast.
Well, you know, especially this year, you know, playing on the road, getting used to being in hotels, the whole 9 yards is kind of huge because the state tournament's in Springdale this year, so you'll end up staying up there a couple days. I think that's kind of something we look forward to. We try to gear our schedule around teams that we'll see in our conference. You know, to get ready for, you know, like we've scheduled Nashville, Greenwood. A lot of guys play 1-3-1s, so it gets us ready for competition in our conference with Conway and so forth. But yeah, I think that it's always a challenging schedule for us because you know, we can't get a lot of people to come play us, and if they want to play us, they don't want to play the boys. So we kind of play a split schedule until January as it is, but I think it gets us better and better as we go on.
You know, this is addressed all for the girls. You know, this is something that Coach Fimple just hit on. You know, a lot of times Coach Fimple has teams that's got some bigger girls, bigger bodies, doing a lot of banging, a lot of low post. You guys aren't that team. And he said, you know, we're going to do a lot of 5-out. But probably for the 4 of y'all, that sounds pretty exciting. And we'll start down here with Kinley. Just talk to us about the changeover and what you guys have been working on the most in the offseason and the fall to get ready to play that little more up-tempo, a little more outside shooting, a little more 5-out that Coach Fimple was talking about.
Yeah, so like y'all hit on, we're definitely a lot smaller this year, and that's something that we're not used to. So something that we've been working on offseason is just playing defense, getting stops, and turning that into points on the other end. I think that's something really big for us this year is just having a defensive mindset and turning that into points on the other end of the floor.
Same thing Kelly said. We've been working on defense. We've been getting in the weight room, and we've been making each other better each and every day. So, yeah.
Some things on defense we've been working on is boxing out and being in help, and on offense, knocking down shots.
I think we've just kind of put ourselves in a position where we can win games. So I feel like our style of play might have been different from years previous, but every night we're just trying to compete. So I feel like that's what we've kind of instilled during preseason.
And Kenley, you've had an opportunity to play for two great programs during your prep career. And this time last year, when Coach Fimp and everybody came in, you were one of the new players that they were really excited about. Now coming into your senior year, a year into the system, just kind of talk about how comfortable you've become.
So moving was really one of the best things I decided to do, and Coach Fimple has made it really amazing for me and made me love the game even more. The style that Coach Fimple plays is more like me, and I really, last year coming in, it was hard trying to switch from different styles of play, and I really like the way that we play over here. We have a bunch of dogs, and we're just fast, and we get after people, and that's something that I like to do. So I really like the move, and it's been really fun and a really good decision that I've made.
Hey, she won the contest. She said dogs. They were over here in the contest. Who was going to say dogs first? She got it in first.
So when you talk about, the team's success, so, obviously the chemistry is one thing that I want to touch on. So how is the chemistry at this point?
You want me to answer that?
Well, I mean, that wouldn't be good if you answered that. But I mean, we're close knit. We're all close in age. Like, we all share the common interest, and that's winning basketball games. So, I mean, that's something we bond over. We all like to compete. We all like to get after it. But like in the locker room, we can have a good time. Mm-hmm. I think that's something that makes it really easy to play with this team. Is just because, I mean, we're all best friends outside of the court.
Julie, LB.
I'll go on and add to that. Like Katie said, on the court, like cutting, we all see that type of stuff, and we all have our IQ is pretty high, and so playing with each other, it's just really fun whenever you see stuff that usually other people wouldn't see. We're starting to gel together and figure out the way that we're going to play this year. And like Katie said, off the court, we have a really good bond with each other, and we're all close and best friends, and that's something that's really important to me.
Coach, the team had been having great success over the years. Mm-hmm. How do you keep producing that winning mentality? How do you keep producing that same product on the court? What's the secret?
Well, the secret is, one, you have to have really good kids, which we've had. I mean, that's the biggest thing probably. But, they could probably be leading scorers on their team if they went somewhere else. But they've kind of bought into being team together, which has always been our case. But I think our leading scorer last year she averaged like 14 points. So we had a bunch of kids. We averaged 62 last year. So we had a bunch of kids that could, they'd have, I think we had 4 different games in conference play alone that we had a different leading scorer. And I'll just be honest with you, you heard what they said, because we emphasize defense so much. I think Jalea was probably our best defensive player maybe in our league last year. And so her role kind of changes, and that's what we've been able to do in years past, is you'll see like a kid just explode on the scene, like their role changes as they get there. They've put in more work that way. So that's kind of how our program's always been built. We're built for kids to get better every year. And I think that happens in practice, because when you have 10 really good players and they push each other every day and get after it, I think it brings them closer together, but it makes them better every day in practice. So a lot of people that come watch us practice, or college coaches, will say, hey, man, that kid's gotten better. Well, it's because who they're getting guarded by every day. I mean, you got Lauren guarding Katie, or Kenley guarding Jalea every day, and they're getting after each other. It's only going to make both of them better. It's like old saying, iron sharpens iron, and I think that's kind of how we've maintained our program through the years.
Katie, got to ask the question that we have all the coaches' kids. Now, you're obviously here today because you're a team leader, but, we see your dad as, yes, he's a goofball at times, but he's also very intense. So, I mean, I know you all have a great relationship and everything at home, but just kind of talk about balancing that on the court and at home.
I would say it was definitely hard for me. I can say it now. It was hard for me my freshman year, but I couldn't play for anyone else. Like, it's just the way that he pushes every single player. Like, y'all think I'm the coach's kid, but he treats every single person like they're the coach's kid. Like we're all just like
You're so lucky.
They're so lucky, yes. But like, I don't feel like it makes me any different. I feel like it just kind of, it's just he's coach on the court, but he's dad at home too. So.
Coach, I just want to know, in terms of taking the next step to get to a state championship, what is the big thing that you feel like y'all have to improve on from last year to get to that next level?
Just to be honest, well, you know, it's always a different road everywhere you go, because when you get in state tournament play or whatever, you've usually seen people and you've usually got a scout. Like, we go to Northwest Arkansas for a reason and play those guys because we get video of us playing against them, so it helps us when we get to state tournament. Plus, that's the only people that'll play us outside of our conference, so we have to. But I think, you know, every year's different. I think the biggest sign of us is we're going to play so fast because we're small and fast. I think we can generate offense pretty easily off of our defensive end of the board. The biggest question about us is, can we rebound it enough? You know, to win huge games, you got to be able to rebound it. And then the biggest thing with the shot clock now in effect is there's two big things: is can you get in the bonus early with the 5-foul rule? Can you keep them from reaching there? Because that's the biggest telltale sign. If you do any analytics of people that succeeded last year in the state tournament, I mean, the average is like 30 attempts. I mean, people are shooting 30. Like Central last year played 3 state tournament games and shot, the lowest they shot was 31 free throw attempts. So attacking the basket in the state tournament is huge because, and this is not a knock, I just think that a lot of stuff that you get away with during the regular season changes when they get there and they get in front of somebody else. So, and that's not a shot on officials. You still got to be able to play it. It's not a shot on Central either. You got to figure out a way to get to 30. But I think that's the biggest thing. And with the shot clock getting 2-for-1s, you know, special situation stuff, I think this team's going to be really good about that because we're a walking mismatch. I mean, we can get you into ball switches, and we can determine who switches and who gets guarded by somebody. So I think we're going to be a tough guard, and I think I really like how competitive our kids are. They don't like to lose in anything. Their GPA, I mean, there's a couple 4.0s up here. I mean, they're smarter than I'll ever be, so that helps too. But I think every year it's a different path, but I think rebounding is probably going to be the biggest thing for us. But I think our biggest advantage is the speed factor. I mean, it's fast. It's really, really fast.
Well, Coach, Coach, it was great hearing from you all, and we wish you the best going into your season. And like I said, thank you for coming out.
Yeah, heck yeah.
It was a pleasure.
Hey, and thank you guys for having this. This is awesome for them. They were nervous wrecks on the way here, but this is great for high school basketball. So we need to continue to do this. I appreciate you doing it again. It was awesome last year. It's even better now. So they're looking forward to it now. Now we're getting our hair done before we come. So you know it's big. You know it's big then, buddy. You know it's big then.
It's a big deal.
Yes, it's a big deal. But yeah, thank you for having us.
All right. Well, that concludes our interview. Appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Okay, we're back. We got Benton High School's boys basketball with head coach Hendricks. How you doing, Coach?
Man, I'm doing great. Thanks for having us today.
Hey, man, we're doing good. Thank you. If you could, introduce yourself and the guys you brought with you.
Sure. Well, thanks again for everything. Doing this again this year. This is great for our state and our guys. They're well deserved. So thanks for. I know it's took a lot of hard work and a lot of planning for this. So thanks for the invite today. I'll just start over here. We have Anthony Spratt, who's a freshman for us this year. Has fit in just really well with us so far this preseason. Super talented, so much potential. I know he's young, but really knows how to play the game and has a great personality too. He's really fit in well with the guys. These next three guys you probably remember from last year. We'll start with Elam Shelby. All right, Elam did a great job for us last year. Was an all-state player. Really got better throughout the year defensively and has really taken his game to the next level. I feel like on the defensive end, playing above the rim now, got more athletic over the summer. And we have right here Harrison Pickett. You guys remember Harrison last year, had a great year for us, another all-state player. Harrison's committed to go play next year at UAPB, so we're super proud of him for that, well deserving. And then we have Terrion Burgess, which I know everybody knows who Terrion is, and just how great of a year he had last year and how special a player he is. And I realize as a coach, very, very honored to coach someone like Terrion, and that's not going to happen very often. So, and all these four guys up here, so very lucky to be their coach, and we're just excited about the year.
Coach, let's talk about last year. With the success you all had, I mean, making it to the finals. Let's talk about that, and what's your plan to kind of get the guys geared back up to make another run?
Yeah, sure. Well, last year, we were proud of what we did. Obviously came up short, but that wasn't no fun, but proud of what we did. But we really hadn't talked about it a whole lot. We know we have to earn everything we get this year. Our plan is just to try to improve every day. I know all coaches say that, but I don't think I'm smart enough to think ahead that far ahead of how to win this game or that game. And we have a day in and day out process of what we do every day, how we get better and how we improve. And that's just what we're going to stick with. We have a saying in our program, the secret's in the dirt. And what we mean by that, that's, it's easy to get caught up in all these games on your schedule and what you're going to do here, how you're going to face this team. But what we can control every day is our practice. Those 2 hours every day are special to us. They're really special. We take those 2 hours very serious on the practice floor, and we know we can control how much better we get that day. So that's what we're really trying to stay focused on.
So, Coach, when we talk about the 5A, your conference, the 5A is one of those conferences that's pretty tough. So let's talk about that non-conference scheduling. And I know you all will be in the matchup showcase. Yeah. Let's talk about that non-conference schedule. How important is it for that non-conference to be challenging to prepare you for the 5A?
Yeah, it's very challenging. To be honest with you, we've had to do a couple of changes in the last few weeks because when you have talented players, and these guys are so talented, it's a credit to them. It doesn't have to do with us. With me, it's a credit to our players. You get a lot of invitations, and you want to try to put your players in the best games and situations you can throughout the season. We feel like we've done that. My head starts hurting sometimes. I think about all the games we got to play in non-conference, and we just go right back to the practice floor. But it's a very challenging schedule, a schedule we're excited about, a schedule we feel like will get us, like you said, a very, very tough 5A South Conference. We feel like it will get us ready for that. So I think it'll do its part for sure.
Okay, this is for the players. Considering the success that you had, talk about just how important you guys, the focus is to get back to that moment. Talk about how it is and where your focus is at this point.
Who wants to take that?
Go ahead. The focus is really just locking in every practice we do and just being mentally locked in, listening to everything Coach got to say and getting better as a team, really.
Yeah, like you said, it's just getting on that practice floor every day, getting into everything you got, taking in everything the coaches have to say, and just going to work.
It's really a day-by-day process. Just focus on this day, like they saying. Really not worry about too far in the future, but staying in the moment.
Yeah, I say the same thing he said. Day-by-day process, got to focus on the day, not tomorrow. Get better that day so we can be better tomorrow.
Coach, What would you say some of your team's strengths and weaknesses are at this point, and how do you plan on attacking that?
Well, I think our strength would be, as we sit here with 3 guys that played and started every game for us last year. We have some experience. We do bring back all 5 guys that we started last year. We really feel, and this is a great time for me to mention, we really feel like we have 7 or 8 starters. For me to mention Caleb Knight, who's had a great preseason for us. We're expecting big things from him. Javaris Russell, who's a point guard for us that started every game for us last year, does a great job. And then we cannot forget A.D. Gray. He's such an important part of what we do. So those 3 guys really go into, a big part of our plan up this upcoming season. We feel like they're going to be a big part of what we do. And, I think experience will be some of our strengths. We hope to, the leadership, I should say, from these guys has shown that in practice. And when you talk about weakness, I just look at that as a opportunity, opportunity we would say. And I think we know great basketball starts with great defense for us. And we're going to really try to be good on the defensive end. And something we're trying to clean up every day right now is cleaning up our turnovers and taking care of the basketball. And that's something, an opportunity we look to improve on.
Okay, so for each player, we know that you all is a very talented team. So what some of the things have you all been working on individually throughout the off season to get better to prepare you for this season?
Really for me is playing harder and working, get my shot off better than what it is, because how the speed of the game has changed for me being the freshman that I am, and just listening and going with the pace.
For me, I definitely say playing above the rim more, playing better defense, guarding the best people in practice every day, just getting that first step, working on charges more. That's something that we can all improve on. And then just getting up a lot of shots, being able to knock the shot down when I'm needed.
I'll say I've been working on really everything, my all-around game, but also about defense, getting better defense, getting charges, like Elam said. Also, I've been working on my game IQ, knowing the game better and learning stuff so that I can help my other teammates get involved too.
I really just say improving my game and just being a very good leader for my team, leading us where we need to be.
You heard these guys say charges, right? So when they back out of them this year, they said it right here. So. Yeah, it's documented. We got it on film right here.
Terry, and I'm going back to you. You just talked about it. You said the thing that you worked on the most this summer was being a leader.
Yeah.
You've literally been all over the country playing against the elite of the elite talent. You play against 4 stars and 5 stars all over the country. Arkansas is a small state, but it's unique that the level of high school basketball is very high in Arkansas versus other small states. Most kids, elite level like you, go back home and don't play against that level. But talk about coming back to Arkansas, and now you play against elite players in the summer, but you're also playing against elite players in Arkansas. Just talk about getting, using that AAU to get ready to come back home and play against these elite level teams.
I mean, I just use it as a good platform, making myself better, my AAU teammates, one right here, and just coming back and giving back what I learned during the summer, like when I went to Italy, bringing back knowledge for my school team, just that.
So, Coach, I know getting the team to emulate what you're trying for them to do, how do you manage that considering you have a lot of talent on your team? I mean, you got guys that's really high ranked and you got guys that's really talented. How do you get them to perform how you want them to perform?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that's something that this time of year all coaches are thinking about. How do we get that message across? And for me, I'm very fortunate. We just talked about Terry Burgess's leadership. Is these guys they want to do what the coach asks. Great players I've found over the years. Great players, they want to be coached. They want that discipline. They want to be told. For them to be great, they want to listen. They want to be coached. They don't want a coach to come in there and just get through practice. They want to be pushed. They want a coach to be demanding beyond them every day. So I'm just super fortunate and very blessed. These guys taking the coaching and allowing me to coach them every day, and they make my job a lot easier. Not just how talented they are, and I'm not just saying this. I know every coach can say this, but these are great kids. I'm fortunate. We have really good kids, and so I think to answer your question, just goes back to the character of our kids, and they want to be coached and they want to get better.
That's Coach. I know that you said last year's kind of in the rearview mirror, but how much is the way that last year ended been a motivation this offseason?
Yeah, sure. It's anytime you lose a state championship game around then, you hear these two guys sign. It's tough. It's tough. But you're exactly right. What can you do with that? All you can do is learn from it and grow from it, and that's what you use the word motivation. But at the same time, the other side of the coin of that is, it's not just going to happen. You got to go earn every win. You got to go earn every defensive stop. You got to go earn every, execute on offense. And so we do use that as motivation. We use it as something that we realized how hard it was to get there. But, like I said, we really just try to a day in, day out process of how much better can we get today in practice. But I definitely understand the question for sure.
Well, and then we heard them talk about how they've worked to improve this offseason. How have you seen each of these guys kind of get better since last year? Yeah, that's a great. I'll just go one by one. Terrion is a guy that's he's done a great job working on his strength. He's gained a lot of weight. You're talking about a 6'9" guy with a 42-inch vertical. That's just you don't hear that's crazy. You don't hear that very often. So a guy that is 6'9" with a 42-inch vertical, it's really he gets face guarded, he gets pushed around, he's really worked on his body and gained a lot of weight. So I think he's been, he's a very driven young man, so he's going to continue to get better. And then I go with Harrison. He's a guy that's continued to work on his game every morning, and it's. I'm not exaggerating. I could pull up the text right now to show you. It's 4:35 a.m. every morning. He's getting in the gym, working on his game. So it's just, go back to the character of these guys. They work extremely hard on their game. And that same thing with these guys. Elam is a guy that I think he understood last year where he was at and what he could improve on. They weren't happy with the results, and they knew they had to get better. And we talk about it, if you're the same player you are right now when the season starts, something's wrong. We got 23 days till we open up with Little Rock Hall, and we want to get better in those 23 days. So I think Elam's done that as well. He's playing above the rim, a lot more athletic than he was. And then same thing with Spratt down here. He's a guy that's came in this preseason. I think he understood after the first practice, like, this is different. High school basketball is different, but man, he's worked his tail off and he's gotten a lot better throughout this as well. So just really proud of all four of these guys, how hard they work, along with their teammates as well.
Okay, Coach. Well, that concludes. But before we get up out of here, what's a moment on your schedule? And I know you're not overlooking anybody, but I always like to ask, what's a moment on your schedule or a team that you might be looking forward to facing?
I knew you were going to ask that too. I knew that was coming. Man, I'm gonna give you the same boring answer. I know you want to hear some more stuff, but I'm gonna be boring. But no. In all reality, they're all big for us. I'll be honest with you. Right now, this week we've been working a lot of zone offense and transition defense. I'm thinking about that more than I am our schedule right now. How we need to clean that up. But every games we play. I would say this: we're playing in. The schedule we have is I look at it when you're playing challenge schedule, they're just opportunities. Yeah. And that's all you can give your guys. So our guys are going to have plenty of opportunities playing some special games for sure. I don't even want to list one because I feel like I'll leave out the other one, but they're all going to be really, really fun to play in. And our goal is just, like I said, I know it's a boring answer, but just continue to get better every day.
Okay. Well, that concludes our interview. We appreciate you guys for coming out, giving us the opportunity.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodness gracious.
Okay, next up, we have North Little Rock High School boys basketball with head coach Nathan Claiborne. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great. How you doing today?
Man, we're doing awesome, Coach. Give us a little insight about yourself and your program, and introduce the players that you brought with you today, please.
Okay, I'm Coach Claiborne, head coach at North Little Rock High School. Started out assistant under Johnny Rice, 2012-13 year. And it's my 4th year as a head coach. And with me I have Tadrian, Bun, and Andre Barnes.
So, Coach, let's talk about last season real quick, and give a recap of last season heading up into this season.
Last year we was pretty good last year. We had 8 seniors. We lost 8 guys. Jacory Withers, Braylon Frazier, Rob Griffin, just to name a few. Lost in the semis to Bryant. Heartbreaker at home. We was undefeated at home up until that point, and they came and knocked us out in the state tournament. So we got back to the drawing board, and we try not to feel that feeling again this year.
So, with the success that North Little Rock is having over the years, how do you keep your guys motivated every season to come in and with those expectations?
Well, when they walk in, the first thing they see is the banners hanging on the wall. And then they come in at a random lunch break, and you got Khalil Ware in the gym shooting. You got Nick Smith in the gym shooting. Kayvon Allen was there all summer working out with the guys. So the guys come back, they give back, and they there every day. They see them. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, how do I get them? The kids come back and they tell them, this is the expectations here, and make sure we keep it up.
So let's talk about it with the players, and this right here is for the players. Considering you all have lost 8 seniors last year, where do the leadership at this point, obviously Coach brought you all because he's looking at you guys as leaders. So as leaders, where do you all place getting back and holding that same intensity and those same values as the past?
I got it. So it really started like in practice. Like we gotta practice hard every day. So like since I was a junior last year, like I had all the seniors, like I looked up to them. I had to see what they did. So you gotta try hard and practice every day. You gotta go at them. You gotta make them better as you get better yourself.
We gotta keep the young bucks accountable. I was a sophomore last year, and I looked up to the seniors. I started as a sophomore, so I gotta keep them in check. Don't let them get out of hand, and don't let them procrastinate and play in practice. So it all starts with practice.
I just got over to North Little Rock, and I've been trying to be a leader with Andre down there and just bringing it every day to practice.
Coach, I had a chance to see y'all at the Big Miller Teen Camp over the summer, and it seemed like your style is in transition is get up and get down, playing fast.
Yeah,
Talk about that.
I've been on them all week this week at practice. Like we moving entirely too slow. You know what I'm saying? So we pace, all about pace. Let's get easy buckets. Let's turn around and play some defense. I know they don't want to run a lot of offense. I don't like running a lot of offense. So you got to have offense in place, you know what I'm saying? But if we play fast, you get the first easy shot, and you get a good shot, and you take that and you live with it and you keep playing, you know what I'm saying? So that's the plan.
So let's talk about your strengths and your weaknesses. How would you attack some of those weaknesses and talk about your strengths?
Well, we had a lot of seniors last year, but I think we'll be a lot deeper this year, but we'll be kind of younger, if that makes sense. So we got a couple of freshmen, a couple of sophomores that can really play, and they're gonna help us out. And along with these guys, I think we'll be deeper, so we'll be able to rotate more and play more kids to keep them fresh. And I think that'll help us out with our weaknesses, because last year we only played like 6, maybe 7. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we kind of wore ourselves down a lot. But I think we'll be able to go 8 or 9 deep this year. And if we can go 8 or 9 deep, I like our chances.
So in practice, what's that one key word or key phrase that you hang your hat on that your guys need to remember and to keep them motivated?
Tab is open.
Tab is open.
Tab is open.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
Hey, ask them about it. Tab is open.
Okay, Coach said the tab is open. Y'all talk about what that mean.
Do push-ups. We do push-ups.
Hey, man,
Ain't no small amount either.
small things. Yeah, it's the small stuff.
Yep.
And everywhere you go, you got to pay a tab.
That's right.
And your tab is open. Let's get it closed.
That's right. So, guys, with that being said, how's that chemistry at this point? You know, you guys, I seen you at the Big Middle Team Camp. You guys were very cohesive. Y'all was very intact. Talk about that. Talk about that chemistry.
So as you seen the team camp, you know, the chemistry wasn't really there because like we had like a lot of new guys come in, so we barely practiced, so we had to figure out. But now that we been practicing and going into practice, like the chemistry getting stronger and stronger every day. So the bond's getting tighter and we playing more like together as the team.
Our chemistry been getting way better for real. Like when we in practice, we making sure we point at each other, and if you don't, pay that tab.
It's like the little thing. It's like good pass. Man, you can't tell them man good pass. You score the points. Hey, tab is open. Tell them good pass. Yeah, it's just the small things though. And like they say, getting them to play together. That's my job to figure out how to get them to play together. And if I can get them to play together on that court, man, we can really do something special this year.
So, you know, North Little Rock, the rivalry games, you know, and getting yourself psyched up to play big games. What's some of those games on your schedule that you're really looking forward to?
Bryant, Jonesboro at Jonesboro.
Brian and at Jonesboro.
I'm with Brian and Jonesboro. Okay, so talk about it, expand on it. Why?
Bryant, cause like everybody think they gonna win like state in our division, but like we gotta let them know they not and we gonna win.
They
Like
gotta
we
come
ready.
through y'all.
Yeah.
You gotta come through y'all, okay.
For me and K4 battled in the 3A when he was at Episcopal. So like now we in 6A, so we finna go at it.
At the end of the day, I just want my get back. You know what I'm saying? They hurt at home when they kicked us out the playoffs, so I just want my get back.
What do y'all feel as players? What do you feel like your biggest area of improvement is?
I feel like for me, shooting, I've been working on a bunch of shooting this summer, and it's been getting better for sure.
I've been working on playing over the rim more and playing better defense.
And me, it's really been change of pace and finally like playing more like as a point guard, really.
So, Coach, you know, at the end of the day, you know, these guys, they're looking up to you. How do you get your guys to trust you, trust your leadership?
Now, I just try to lead by example every day. And with these guys that start in the classroom, what was our team GPA goal?
3.5.
We finished with a 3.47. So if you're around that, I'm gonna take the 3.5. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I try to be a leader to them in the classrooms, in the hallways. Whenever they see me, I try to always be doing the right thing and keep them on the right path.
Coach, North Little Rock is one of those programs that story. They're always looking for North Little Rock to be there in the end. What's the pressures?
It ain't no pressure, man. It's like my first 3 years at North Little Rock, we won. And like that's just the expectation. It's championship or bust. We don't celebrate conference championships. We don't celebrate making the playoffs. You win a state or you don't. And that's just how it is over there. And I just got used to it. Yeah, that's just what it is, yeah.
Well, there it is, championship or bust.
Yes, sir.
With that said, we're going to conclude this interview, and we appreciate you guys for coming out, showing some love. And,
No problem.
good luck
Thank you
to
for having us. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Y'all ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, up next, we got Hot Spring High School boys basketball with head coach Josh Hayes. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here. How you doing?
Man, we're doing good. Appreciate it. Just introduce yourself and the players that you brought along with you.
Okay. Again, my name is Josh Hayes, head varsity coach at Hot Springs High. I have Jay Hayes to the right of me, LeBron Christian next to him. Then I have Day One Ellis to my left, and to his left, Jair Hartwell.
Coach, you're in a new role at a new spot today. So talk about just how the transition has been from Whitehall to Hot Springs.
Yeah, it's unique because I got a job in the same conference that I've been in the last 4 years. But it's been a nice transition. It's been smooth. I think the weird thing about the transition is Jay just got released yesterday, so I still have not seen my entire team or what we'll look like until tomorrow. He's been practicing with us, but he hadn't been able to go contact. So honestly, I've had a chance to develop the other guys. They've got a chance to learn each other, play with each other, and now getting him back, I think we'll finally see what it looks like. So probably the most interesting transition I've ever had in my career.
And I wanted to ask Jay and LeBron, y'all come over from 5A South schools as well. You understand, LeBron, obviously y'all had some great runs at Lake Hamilton. So what are some things that y'all took from that conference? So y'all had some tough ones in your non-conference schedules too, but just playing the Bentons week in and week out and all those tough schools, how has that helped develop y'all's career?
Me personally, I think we have one of the toughest conferences in the state. So when you put that into play, just playing guys like him, other high-level guys, like we got a few Division I guys in our conference. So when you put that into play, I think it just gets you ready for the next level more than anything. And then you can test yourself in the fire more, just preparing yourself for the next level. And if you take basketball serious, then it's going to be a great challenge for what you want to look at as a player.
Picking up off what Jay said, playing them guys day in and day out, D1 guys. And in the last 3 years, our conference has had the most successful runs. I think it was Lake Hamilton and Palm Bluff 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Last year was Palm Bluff and Benton. So just taking our conferences,
I guess, yeah. But Coach, what has been some of your biggest challenges so far, considering that you moved from Whitehall all the way up to Hot Springs? What's been some of your biggest challenges?
The move was terrible. Seriously, it wasn't a bad move. The most challenging aspect, I think, is I have 6 transfers, including Jay. And so having that many guys, that's like basically building a brand new team from scratch. They graduated 7 seniors, I believe, last year. And so when I got the job, I think it was a total of 6 guys on varsity at the time. 4 of those guys were 9th graders last year, so they're sophomores. So we basically have no guys back with real experience. So I have a brand new squad. And so I guess the gift and the curse of that is playing without guys. Like our first team camp, we had LeBron and Ja. And then the next team camp, Day One, and of course, Eli. But we still haven't played with Jay. And so, again, I haven't seen my full team. But the beauty of it is we played in the Butterball Classic. It's allowed those guys to gel, to play together in different roles. And so when he comes back, what I don't want is what I've had the past few years, guys kind of standing and watching the show. I want all of my guys to be basically on go mode, to be ready to attack. And to be playmakers instead of just kind of watching the show. And I think how it's been set up without having Jay is guys have had so many different roles is that I think they're ready for whatever comes. And so I think it all come together. But not having him probably was a good thing.
Right. Yeah, I had a chance to check you all at the Big Miller team camp over the summer, and I noticed you didn't have a few pieces with you. So I'm intrigued to see what your team looking like at this moment with a full roster. And with that being said, what is your goals and expectations for this team with your full roster?
You know, I tell the guys all the time, we got a target on our back just because of the way things came to. You know, all of these guys have all went to High Springs School District some time in their career. And so they all want to come back and they want to play together to do something special. But, you know, we're not comparing us to anybody, but you know when guys team up how other teams feel about that. And so, you know, we know that a lot of people don't necessarily like that, and we know that we're going to get everybody's best every night. And honestly, I like that because I've been a coach my last 9 years. I've had to coach with a chip on my shoulder. And I think this is the most talented team that I have, and I still got that chip. And so what that allows us is we can't have any off nights because, for one, what LeBron was saying, I want to piggyback off that. The last 2 finalists in 5A have been from our conference, from the 5A South. In the entire 5A, which is 4 different divisions. And so when you look at that, LeBron has been to the semifinals, 2 years in a row?
Yes, sir.
And been to and of course, played in the finals. You know, the year before that, y'all played Pine Bluff?
Yes, sir.
And then Pine Bluff and been this last year. So I want to say this, and this might be a bold statement, but I believe it. The 6A is top heavy. The 5A South is the toughest conference in the state, and I don't think it's close. If you look at our teams and how far they've gone and how they've played over the years, the last couple of years, in their standings, going into the tournament and afterwards, I just think that it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
We look at 6A because it's higher. I've never believed in it. You know what I'm saying? Just like a mid-major school compared to a top D1 school. What happens when they get to the tournament sometimes? It evens out. And so I think us being in that tough conference is really the best thing that it can prepare our guys for what we're going to see every night.
So I heard Coach talk about he had that chip on his shoulder, right? So let's talk about, and this question is to the player, let's talk about the chip on you guys' shoulder. What is that chemistry like? Are y'all having the same mindset as Coach? Talk about it.
We all got the same goal, you know, make a Hot Spring. We all got the same role, you know. We want to make put our city on the map. So, you know, Hot Spring haven't been on the map lately since Santee now, Kilo now. So, y'all watch out for it. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
Piggyback off of day one, I said Hot Springs, like, they haven't been a real contender in a couple past years. So, like, we all been working hard every day, like, trying to make sure that we get the one goal in mind, that's to win state.
Me personally, I know from this summer, I didn't get to play AAU, and that's built the fire in me to come back this season and, you know, of course win a state championship, but not really remind people, but remind myself of what I'm capable of doing. And just being around these guys has able me to become a better player, better person. And every day we just trying to enforce working hard and staying together as a unit, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to get us to the goal that we want to have.
I think my teammates covered it all.
And Jay, we've got to ask you the million-dollar question. We've asked all the coaches' kids today. Now, your dad, he's a great guy, but I've seen him on the court. He's intense.
Yeah.
And I know, you're a heck of a player, been a dominant player in the state for the last 3 years, going into your 4th year as a varsity starter.
Appreciate it.
Talk about balancing the home life and the court life.
You know, it's crazy because for the past 3 years, it's been a little chaotic, but now me being at this point, my dad has really coached me my whole life. So at this point where we at now, it's just I can run the team without needing him. Like, I know what he expects. I know what he wants to see. So now with this last year, I think everything gonna run smoothly as it has lately. But it's been crazy. Like, them car rides when we get to the house, maybe him yelling at me. It get a little crazy sometimes, but I know that he has the best interest for me, and he gonna put me in the best positions, not just as a player, but as a man. So as I've got older now, I've started to see that. So now I'm just thankful for the relationship we have.
Coach, I know I'm not even talking about that. Hey, I done been in your shoes before, but just the transition from there. Let's talk about that non-conference schedule. I know you as a person. You like the smoke. You like for your non-conference to be challenging.
Yes, sir.
So talk about that non-conference schedule and how it is going to translate into the 5A conference.
That's a great question, and it's funny because before I got this job, I was about to have my easiest pre-conference schedule ever because it's always been so many tough games, and then get this position, get these guys in, and I want to challenge them because I say we play in the best conference, and so if you play the best competition pre-conference, it prepares you for conference, which prepares you for the state tournament, hopefully. Man, we got some juggernauts. I mean, we start off with Parkview at home. Then, boom, I believe we have North Little Rock, Jacksonville, then the following week, Bryant. So our first 4 games can really shape the beginning of our season in several different ways. Man, you know, coaches will tell you this, and it's the truth. It really doesn't matter to conference play. However, it sure feels good to win those tough battles early and see what you're made of. And so I think we'll know what we are and where we are the first couple of weeks of our season. Like you said, I've been looking at some of the quotes. I've never dodged the smoke. I'm looking for the smoke for my players because if you don't face the smoke earlier, when it comes, you're not ready for it. Right. And so I believe in playing tough pre-conference schedules my entire career. It's my 10th year as a head coach. And I think, honestly, if you don't, it's almost like not preparing your children for what's out there once they leave their home. You know, I'm not preparing them. You know, if we play a cupcake schedule.
Yeah, Coach. You know, just to kind of, you know, transition from that. I know sometimes when, you know, you get to a new place, the community, how has the community embraced, you know, your move from White House up to here?
It's been incredible. The way they've embraced me, the guys, the culture, you can see it shifting. And what I mean is, Hot Springs has typically been a basketball school. Well, the last few years has been more of a football school, but where you can see the balance is everybody's excited about basketball. Everybody wants to see what we're going to look like when it comes together. Everybody's behind it. I think me being in the conference, a lot of the city was somewhat familiar with me, and now it's really not me, it's these guys. I'm going to be honest with you. They want to see what the Hot Springs boys are going to do. And you know, I love that because, you know, leaving Whitehall, we didn't have huge community following. East End has been so long ago, I can't remember how I felt. But I know this, the way the community has gotten behind us already, the way they back us, is second to none.
Anything else? Good. Okay, with that being said, that's going to conclude the interview. We appreciate you coming out, giving us the opportunity to get inside y'all brain, pick and see what this outlook for the season is going to be. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Appreciate it.
Okay, next up we have Lake Hamilton High School girls basketball with head coach Blake Conley. How you doing, Coach?
Good, Nigel. Yeah, appreciate you guys having us.
Man, thank you all for coming and taking time out of your day. If you would, give an introduction of yourself and the players you brought with you today.
Yeah, we'll do it. Like you said, I'm Blake Conley. I'm going into my 12th year as a senior girls coach at Lake Hamilton. Been there 14 years total, but 12 as the high school coach. I'll start over on my right. We've got Desire Christian and Haley Ferguson. And then on my left, we've got Sanaya Cook and Amaya Easter.
Okay, Coach. Let's get right into it. Let's talk about the success you had over the season. Let's talk about what some of the things that you're doing to prepare to get back there.
Yeah, you know, we tell the girls and try to work every day just to have a mentality, you know, that we want to be great at everything that we do. And, you know, that goes in basketball and that goes away from the court as well. And just trying to have that mentality, just trying to do that every day. And, you know, talking about the success, you know, that we've had, wanting the girls to try to build on that and believe on that, but knowing, like, the years past don't really matter when it comes to this season. There's always somebody, you know, wanting to try to take you out. Somebody's always wanting to try to beat you. And so you always have to be working, just trying to be better. And that's what we're trying to do. Just try to get a little bit better every day and you know, not just settle and rest on what we've done in the past.
So let's talk about this. Being first in your conference, I mean, you got that target on your back. The pressure of being the ones that everybody's trying to, being the one that you're going to get everybody's best, right? How do you work with getting that pressure off your back or letting the girls know, hey, look, everybody's coming for us, you know what I mean? Don't take every game too serious, you know, don't overlook anybody. How do you keep them humble?
Yeah, you know, we were talking on the way up here, you know, just about pressure and you know, where the pressure might come from. And I don't think anybody's going to put, you know, any more pressure on me than I'm going to put on myself. I don't think anybody's going to put more pressure on the girls than they put on themselves. You know, they're usually really hard on themselves and you know, trying to get them to think more of the positive stuff, not beat themselves up. And that just ends up leading us to, you know, being really competitive. We also try to schedule as tough as we can non-conference to get us ready come conference so that, you know, we've seen anything and everything somebody could throw at us. We want to have experienced it before we get to conference.
Well, speaking of that kind of segue into my next question. Let's talk about that non-conference schedule. I see that you have Conway as your first game out the door.
Yes.
Talk about you know, being able to have that non-conference game right out the door, you know, to prepare you for that 5A.
Yeah,
talk about it.
For sure. You know, if you look at the teams that are in that Conway tournament, I mean, it's like playing a state tournament right off the gate. I mean, it's all of the teams. And, you know, Conway, I believe, was, you know, in the state championship last year, and they've got all of them are back, you know, and I know 3 of them are planning on going to play at UCA in the future. So, you know, we'll have our work cut out for us. But that's where I feel like we find out who we are. That's when we find out how good we are, and we see, you know, the other teams that they're good, they've had success. Well, we've got to figure out how to compete with them, how to beat them, and you're not going to figure that out if you're not willing to go and play them. And so we want all of our non-conference and then even into our conference. Like, we're trying to be the best we can be come March, you know, hoping we can make the state tournament. And so it's all just trying to build on that, you know, playing the best teams that we can find.
Coach, you lost a great player who unfortunately moved away for you. Not only was Bray a great player, but she was a great leader. Talk about the 4 girls you brought here and how they're not only going to replace her production, but her leadership.
Yeah, so nothing but great things to say about Brayley. You know, she actually was in town this last weekend and surprised the girls and came by practice just to say hi. And there were tears, you know, from the girls because, you know, they're missing one of their good friends, one of their teammates for life. But, the situation just came up where, our family ended up moving on us. And, we've talked about it. Like, I don't like to just leave an elephant in the room without talking about it. So I've talked with the girls about it. We're not asking any one girl to try to take that position. We just going to spread that around. Like, we just need a girl to, step up and fill this role. We need a girl to step up and fill this role, not just put it on one girl that she's going to be responsible for it. And that's what's great about this group is they play really well together. They love each other. They share responsibility. They share, the workload, all of it. And, they want to see each other succeed. And whatever that's going to take, whatever sacrifices they're going to have to make for each other, I think they're willing to do that. And that's what we've been focusing on. That's what we've been working towards going into season.
Okay. Now, for the girls, I heard Coach talk about that non-conference, right? And that it's coming out brutal. Y'all going to have a stretch 1, 2, 3, 4. So start with you tonight. Talk about how important that non-conference schedule is to you all and coming out, getting off to a great start.
I just feel like as long as we get out there and work hard and do everything that we know we need to do, we'll be fine. Like last year we started the season with the same exact tournament. We got through the tournament and we ended up having a really good season the whole year. So I feel like as long as we work hard, we'll be fine.
I will say, I think the girls thought I was crazy last year whenever we opened up, going to play in that tournament. But as the season goes, like Sinai said, I think they realized, what we were doing. So
We play some pretty tough teams, and it just prepares us for when state comes.
Okay.
I feel like it was good for us because, they're pretty good teams, and we didn't do that good the first couple games, but in March we did good.
Wait, are we talking about last year or coming this year?
No, we're talking about this year.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be a good starter. Like, we get to see how we're going to play together, and it's going to help us for the end of the season when we come March.
And Coach, I know you mentioned, obviously you're focused on the now and moving forward, but there's something to be said for the way that y'all played Greenwood. Greenwood was head and shoulders, let's call it what it is. They were head and shoulders above most of their opponents in the 5A state tournament, but y'all were right there with them. So just talk about, how proud you were of your girls for those steps that they took, and have you used that maybe as a little motivation, again, not looking back, but just showing, hey, you played with the standard of Class 5A over the last few years?
Yeah, and like you said, Greenwood's been the standard. That's, that they've, set it there. And we talk in practice, quite a bit about, we're not preparing to try to beat teams that are not very good. Like, we're trying to prepare to beat the teams that are the best. Like, that's who we want to go after. That's who we want to try to be chasing. And yeah, like we were right there. I felt like last year, in the state tournament, and Greenwood going on and winning it, and we're trying to use that just as steps that we're trying to take, in the building process to get these girls ready for us to try to make a run at it.
So let's talk about preparation. So obviously you guys had an amazing season last year, right? So what's some of the things have you been doing or working on to help prepare you for this season, skill-wise, strength-wise?
Right now, I'm in volleyball, so I'm not in basketball as much, but I get in the gym as much as I can. And I feel like we're trying to work on our chemistry a lot with a couple of missing pieces we had last year. But other than that, I feel like I need to work on a lot getting out of the paint and handling the ball, stuff like that, just to be more versatile for my team.
I just got released from an injury, so I haven't been able to work on what I wanted to, but now that I'm released, I'm looking forward to working on threes to open up my offense and just making it harder on the defense. I've been working on my shooting, also bringing the ball up under pressure.
For me, I want to work on, and I've been working on, me having the ball in my hands, like being able to hit an open teammate or score with the ball.
So before you pass the mic, I want to ask what do you all think is the main key to your success this year? What would it be in order for you to get back to that point and get over that point? What would it be?
I feel like we just need to come together and work as a team.
Come to practice every day, work hard, and play as a team. Being there for each other when we need it, and just working hard. And
like they said, just coming to practice, being able to work hard, gaining that chemistry back again, and just being ready to play.
Same question to you, Coach. What you think that key factor would be to help push you past that point where you were last year?
Yeah.
Not to overlook anything.
Right. But that's and it's like the girl said, you know, we don't really rely on one girl. It's a group effort. I mean, it is a collective effort. And, you know, when we go back and even looking, you know, last year, you know, our scoring was pretty well spread out. Like we shared the ball, and like we're going to need that again this year. On the defensive side of the ball, one of the things that we try to talk about is, hey, it's not just one girl trying to guard one girl. It's our 5 guarding their 5. And so we just do a lot of trying to communicate and getting across to the girls that we're doing this thing together. Like, it's not just one of you. Don't try to put everything on your shoulders. Like, let your teammates share that load, and we're going to do this thing together. And that's what's going to help us get over the top. Like, that's what's going to help us to take that next step towards our success. Yeah.
Right. And I know, like I was telling Coach Scotty, Lake Hamilton basketball, Lake Hamilton community in general, they love to support their sports, right? So how important is it for the community to come up and help, you know, push you guys, to cheer you guys on, to help, you know, get you to that next level?
Yeah, listen, we've got great fans. You know, we've got folks that they'll travel anywhere we're going. You know, we're going to have people that are there, and they're going to be supporting. I think Coach Pennington even mentioned, you know, we play in a tournament in Branson. We usually have more fans than the home crowd. Wow. You know, like we're just that. You know, everybody travels with us, and they go. And just for the kids to know that, hey, the community's behind them. You know, they're supporting them. And you know, when it gets rocking in that arena, you know, out in Piercy, it's pretty special.
Right on. Okay, so to close out, Coach, what would you tell your team, you know, at this moment, if, you know, y'all back in that championship game, back at it, you know, if y'all ever make it back, what would be your message to them going into that game?
Yeah, we're going to do what got us here. You know, we're not going to, you know, try to do things that are, and that's like we're trying to work hard. We're trying to do this thing together, and that's what, you know, I hope that we bring to the court. You know, we don't want people to outwork us. We don't want people to work harder than us. Like, we want to be right there, you know, in the mix, being one of the hardest workers, and you know, not trying to do things that are different, and just go in every game and you know, we try to do what we do. Like, we try to, you know, be pretty consistent in what we're doing and how we go about things. And I think that helps us going game to game and being able to be prepared.
Cool. Well, with that being said, that concludes our interview. We appreciate you all traveling down, giving us the opportunity to interview and just give a little insight of Lake Hamilton basketball. Thank you.
You bet. Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
That will conclude day 2 of Big Miller Basketball Media Days. I want to thank Count Porcula for supplying lunch today, and also the great folks here at First Community Bank for their continued hospitality. You can watch both of the days from the previous 2 on YouTube, the Natural State Sports Network, and then make sure and catch us at 9 a.m. live on YouTube tomorrow. Thank you.